106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Wednesday, August 14th. I'm your host, Gabe El-Taib. It is Double Impact. Guys, we're back. I was in Las Vegas last week where my daughter was performing stand-up at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club at the Link, near the Link Casino and all that. And it was a great time, and she absolutely killed it. So we're going to be mixing some Vegas into her stuff. So she goes to Hollywood, San Diego. She's taking over comedy in the southwest portion of the United States. I'm here tonight with my good buddy, the great Jericho Green. How you doing, friend?
What's going on, man? Congratulations to Miss Minnie.
Yeah, she's a killer. It was a really fun trip, but it was exhausting. That's why we didn't do the show last week. I hit you up around lunchtime last Wednesday. I laid on the couch all day last Wednesday. I woke up Tuesday morning because she was performing at Jimmy Kimmel's Club Tuesday night a week ago. 5 a.m., drove to Vegas, had lunch, went over to our good buddy, friend of the show, Dean Kane's beautiful house. And my granddaughter, Big Baby, and Minnie, they went swimming. And me and my wife, we just hung out with Dean. And my wife got the tour of his house, which I've told you about, Jericho. Just, wow, what a beautiful home. Hung out with him for a few hours. Then went back to the casino. And I hung out with Big Baby for a few hours while my daughter did stand-up. So my wife and Dean and then my sister-in-law and another friend of my wife's, they all went and watched Minnie. And she killed. She killed on stage. So she's invited back. That is awesome. The comedy career progresses. Got up at 4 the next morning after my daughter performed at night and drove back to San Diego. So it was 2 nights in a row of like 4 hours of sleep. So I was zonked. And that was after Comicon the week before. So I was double zonked with a capital Z.
Double zonk?
Dude, you just got double zonked, dude. So I was freaking tired. No show last week. But we are back. Crocodile Dundee. What an odd movie. We'll get into it. But what have you been up to since Comicon? Because you and I haven't talked much. I've been so busy. You've been so busy. What have you been doing?
Yeah, man. Work. Kids starting school, which is, as we were talking about, is absolute bullshit. Going back to school in August. My niece went back August 6th. But preparing for that, school shopping, all that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous, man.
What is that? You and I were talking before the show, and you agree. If I were king of America, king of Earth, in fact, why set my sights too small? There would be no homework, first of all, for kids. Teachers, you got the kids all day. That's enough. Make them smart during the day. You got them 6 to 8 hours. And then summer break. School starts in September after Labor Day, and school is out at Memorial Day. Kids get a full 3 months plus summer to be kids, to ride bikes, to play games, to do arts and crafts, to play video games, to sleep in, watch Saturday morning cartoons, to be children, to have those golden. We had it. We had 3-month summers when I was a kid.
3 solid months, the whole season of summer, we had it.
Yeah.
And why was that good enough for us and not good enough for these kids? One word, money. That's what it's about. The government wants more revenue for these children.
It's a scam.
Generations upon generations went to school after Labor Day, and we were just fine. They started that bullshit, I think, the last half of high school for me. They started going back to school, August 17th, August 20th, some bullshit.
No.
Now it's all the way to the first week of August, an absolute travesty. And again, if I were, like Gabe said, if I were in charge of this whole shindig, that shit would end, along with people wearing pajamas in public being cited. And then if you have a second infraction, you'll be whipped in public.
Right. Just ridiculous. Yeah. But what if there was a social justice warrior with blue hair and the pink kitty cat hat who was your kid's teacher starting school July 5th? It was what they told you the one.
No.
How would you react to this?
No, my kid will be absent until September. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous on both levels. Number one, starting school so early, and number two, the description of that teacher. Hell no. Get your weird ass away from me. The saying, you can't judge a book by its cover, but now you can.
You can
judge a book by its cover. I see you coming a mile away. You are a freak.
Right. Speaking of that, I pay for Twitter. People make fun of people who pay for Twitter. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have enough followers and people interact with your tweets enough, you actually make money on Twitter. I pay Twitter $8 a month, and I make a lot more than that back. Every month on the 21st, Twitter pays me. So it's good to pay for Twitter. You get to upload longer videos. You get to download videos if you want to. You get to edit your spelling in your posts. You don't have to delete them and start over. You see less ads. And you get the best AI on the market. Croc, it's a full AI, can do everything. And last night they introduced a new feature, image generation. I had it generate this, and it returns the images to you in under like 15 seconds of this quality. So I'll show it to you guys here on the show. Someone in the chat, or no, Jericho, you can go first. Write me something you want it to generate, and I'll do it, and you'll see how quickly it does it. Okay. What do you want me to make an image of? Keep it simple, and don't be too superfluous. Just say, a robot making a hamburger in a factory, like just the facts, ma'am, of what the image is.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
I love this thing. I've been playing with it all since last night. That's what she said.
Yeah, and that doesn't stop. Am I right, guys? Once you start, you don't stop playing that thing until the grave.
Right.
Let's see. All right.
What's it gonna be?
Can it be 3 words?
Yeah. Oh, it could be anything, any description you want. Sherlock Holmes working at a Subway sandwich shop. Like, you could do what you want. It could be a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Just go ahead and tell me.
Here we go. I'll send it to you in the chat. So,
okay. You're gonna send it to me in the chat?
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll pop it in there and then we'll get your image. It should be funny. Kamala as a hyena. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I'll do that real quick.
Well, that's real. We don't need AI for that.
Generate me an image of presidential candidate Kamala Harris as a half human, half hyena. Okay, let's see if that'll do it. Now, some things that are offensive, it'll refuse to do them. There you go. That's what it returned. That's crazy, right? And it did that. That was less than 15 seconds. So $8 a month for Twitter, and you get the best AI. And you know what? How many images you're allowed to do? Unlimited. Because a lot of those things you pay for the AI images, it's like 20 a day or whatever. This is unlimited. So yeah. So there you go.
That's hilarious.
But here's one I did yesterday. It was Yoda doing a kickflip at Venice Beach while beautiful women in bikinis watch. And it's just like whatever you want. It's hilarious, the kind of things you can do. So if you could think of it, it'll do it pretty much. And it was making me crack up yesterday.
That's cool.
Donald Trump winning the Mr. Olympia contest. Came up with that one. Thought that was funny as hell. So
how about for double impact, Steven Seagal daycare?
Okay. Now, sometimes it doesn't get the celebrity likeness correct. I think If they're less famous or they haven't been famous or in the news as much, it'll be a person that looks like them, but it's not them. Okay. Generate me an image of action star Steven Seagal running a daycare. Make sure the image has a face that looks precisely like Steven Seagal. All right, we'll see. Because sometimes it won't look like the actor. It'll look like a dude that looks like him in a vague way. So we'll see. See, that's not Steven Seagal, and that's not a daycare. So it didn't understand what I said. But if you tinker with it, and you choose better words, and you get rid of some of the filler words, like the conversational words, you get rid of those, then it works better. But anyway, that's a fun little thing to mess with.
Well, you learn just like the AI learns.
Right. You learn how to talk to it. And also, you can just talk to the AI in words, too, not just images. Like, hey, who's winning the NL West in Major League Baseball right now? And they'll give you stats. Or what's a good recipe to make homemade mayonnaise? Like, whatever. But I also asked it, if I want images to really look like the actor, what should I tell the AI image thing? And then it explained it to me. So, and I didn't do it just now, but you can ask it pretty much anything. And unlike ChatGPT, it has access to real-time information. ChatGPT doesn't have access to anything like after 2022 or 2023, but the Twitter AI, it has access to up to the minute info. So it's kind of awesome. So
fucking Elon.
There you go. I love when libtards hate Elon. He's such an idiot. He's such a loser. And then I'll always ask him, how many rockets has your company launched this month? I'm just curious. I'm just asking.
Yeah, he's a trip, man.
He's got the Boring Company. The Boring Company does the underground tunnels for transportation. He helped found PayPal, Twitter, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink satellites. He's got a few other things. Like he's one of the literally, not the way girls use that word, literally one of the great men of history. He's right there with Tesla and Thomas Edison. He will be remembered for hundreds, if not more than 1,000 years. What an innovator he is. What a brilliant dude. Living here in San Diego, Vandenberg Air Force Base is like 100 miles north of Los Angeles. When he launches those rockets to put his satellites in orbit, we get to see it at my house. And it's like living in Star Wars, dude. You go outside and there is a rocket making this blue-green plume in the air. And it goes over my house. I've seen it 3 times. It's insane. They launch from LA and they go down towards Mexico. I don't know why, but they head that way. And it's something else. You're like, oh, rocket launch in 1 minute. We go in the backyard. We all look up and there it goes. And
do they do it at night or during the day?
They do it like at sunset and at night. And it's glowing blue and green against the night sky. And then you'll see the booster rocket detach. And you know that he recycles those. They actually land. And you'll see this little orange thing like come off and then it kind of disappears. And it's truly amazing. So
lands on somebody's house.
That would you'd get a big financial settlement if that happened.
Yeah, you get hooked up, and if it's somebody you don't like, if it's like a family member you don't like, you're like, hey, this is a win-win, dog.
Yeah,
this is a win-win.
So that's I wanted to do a little behind the scenes comic book thing. The comic book stuff is going great. I got 2 new big deals at Comicon that I didn't announce to you guys that are going forward. We're going to figure out contracts and stuff, but a lot of great stuff coming from Big Man Comics. I've got the plot in Tyrus's hands. So he's reviewing plot and script and stuff like that. So we're going to keep moving forward on the Tyrus book. But I wanted to just show you the day in the life of a comic book artist. I got a big package in the mail. I just had to have a
finish that sentence.
Yeah. I got a big package in the mail. I just asked my wife. And I kept getting texts. You get those texts or emails. Jericho, your package is at the UPS facility. Text back to this to say yes or no. You know what I'm talking about? They're scam texts. They're trying to get your info. I kept getting those from DHL today, and I wouldn't answer them. It's like, press yes to confirm delivery. And the guy showed up at my house with a giant, heavy box. I don't know what's in it. I know it's from my friends at DC Comics. So I'll open it on the air to give the fans watching behind the scenes. What did DC Comics send me? Hold on, let me grab it.
Grab the huge package.
I'm gonna grab my huge package on the air. Ugh. So they sent me this thing, and this is quite heavy. I think I know what it is because they asked me to write a bio for myself like 6 months ago for this collected edition of books, and I think that's what this is. So this is quite heavy, very big, about 1.5 foot box. The green screen's making it disappear. I'll turn off the green screen. We'll open up and see what's inside. What do you think's in here? It's my friends at DC Comics.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Let's see. All right.
Probably some shit you worked on.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
It's a knife.
All right, let's see.
That's how
Always
a
cut
man
away
opens
from
a box.
yourself.
Yeah.
Always cut away from yourself. This big knife is silly to be doing this. It's a little too big, but
It's
oh well.
perfect for double impact.
That's right.
Fucking Rambo
Okay.
knife.
What do we think's in here? You know what's in here? Another box. Okay.
Oh, they
Another
got you with
box.
those little Russian fucking toys inside.
There's literally another box. It's like a centimeter smaller on every side. Okay.
Well, they care about it. Whatever it is.
There better not be a third box. I'll just tell you that. Let's see what is in here. Thank you, DC Comics. Oh, and they were very generous. They sent me my quarterly royalty check in July. You know, it's like a divorce. They have to pay me every quarter for the rest of my life, even though I don't work there. Oh, wow.
Alimony.
That's right. Oh, it's okay. The Batman Arkham City Comics Omnibus.
Oh, wow.
A bunch of these are in here.
That's
wow.
Cool.
I think you'd kill someone with these. It's quite heavy. Okay. That is what was in the box.
That's cool.
All right. So it's not the other book I thought it was. 6 months ago, they had me write a bio for myself because they're doing a collected edition of a bunch of Green Lantern books that I also worked on. So I guess that'll be coming later, maybe at the holidays. But now we know the Arkham City Omnibus. And one more shot for the camera.
That's pretty cool.
Did you ever play that game? It's a really good game.
No, I'm familiar with it, but I never played. But I definitely heard of it.
Okay. Well, there we are.
Have you ever seen that movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman?
Yes, we're gonna have to review that on here because that's one of the best crime movies ever.
Fuck that movie.
You don't like it?
No, in a good way. It was just fucking. That movie was crazy.
Should we ask Arnold if there's a bomb in there? They would never dare send me anything like that.
It's a bomb in there.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't be cool.
The Arkham City video game was fun. My good friend Carlos de Anda, fellow DC Comics artist, he was the main character designer for the Arkham City video games. He did the concept art that gave it that look. The Arkham City has that unique look. He designed all that. So there you go. There you go.
Pretty cool.
So Crocodile Dundee.
Right.
You saw it as a child, huh?
Oh yeah. Remember going to the video store and renting that movie for the first time. What a great movie. Because you see the previews. Previews get you all hyped for these movies and shit. You see the crocodile, part of the crocodile scene. And you're just like, what the fuck is this Mick Dundee? That's right.
I like
and everybody says that. Anytime you pull out a knife, somebody's gonna say that's not a knife.
Right.
It's part of pop culture, and it's just part of our everyday. And she was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, what a smile!
Lady. Yeah,
what a smile.
She's beautiful, and he was that. In the beginning, like they're trying to, like, the locals are trying to, the ones that don't like him are portraying him as just this con man, and he's not really doing that. But no, he was really, as kids say, about that life. He was really doing shit. He's out in the bush, and when he put that animal to sleep, we'll get to that.
Right.
But, man, this movie.
Now, I talked to you before the show. What I was shocked to me about this movie, I loved the newspaper as a child. I loved Garfield and all the strips. I would always read those. And then I would flip over to the movie ad pages, which if you were not a kid in the 80s before the internet, you missed out. Like the newspaper is an amazing thing. The Sunday paper, it was so much great reading. I love to read. If you don't like to read, then maybe you don't like the newspaper. But I love the movie advertisements. There was this whole world I was not a part of. I wasn't really allowed to go to any movies. I saw like 5 movies in the theater growing up. We just a very strict religious upbringing. We weren't allowed to watch any filth or listen to music that was worldly. But I would always pore over those movie ads, and I just found it so fascinating. I always wonder, what are these movies about? What is this? And I remember 1986 seeing this Crocodile Dundee thing. And for those of you that weren't there in the 80s, for whatever reason in America, Australia became this thing for a minute. Right? Do you remember this, Jericho? You were very little, but Australia was like cool and trendy, and good day, mate, and another shrimp on the barbie. And they were like these shoes that had kangaroos on them. There was a shampoo that was Aussie something shampoo. There was another movie, Young Einstein, starring a guy named Yahoo Serious. He was another Australian actor, I think. There was just some Australia stuff for a couple years. Mel Gibson, sure. But Australia, like just the concept, the country, I don't know. It was very trendy in the 80s in America.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Energizer had these battery commercials with this big Australian guy. He would be like, "Oi," and stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember the big blonde guy.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but it was just a big cultural thing in America in the 80s. So this is part of that.
He was him and this brunette. I think what the hell's the dude's name? I could see the actor. It wasn't Henry Rollins. Damn it, who was it? But anyway, this kind of Josh Brolin kind of brooding brunette guy with brown hair, and then had that Aussie guy with the blonde hair. And somebody in the chat, I know you know this. They had a TV show, and I think it was on NBC, and they rode around. Again, another thing big in the 80s was souped up vehicles, vans, cars, shit like that. And it was this souped up 18-wheeler with like all this computer shit in it, and that's how they would get around and solve their weekly capers. But it was that's where that blonde guy was from. He got fame from doing that show, and then they put him in those Energizer commercials. He always say, "Boy." But yeah, man, Australia. I don't know, something about Australia. That guy. Something about Australia in the 80s, but Crocodile Dundee was huge.
Yeah, let me try and share this with the sound. For whatever reason.
One of these, and one of these. One of these lasts longer than all the rest. To Rice, the extraordinary Energizer. One of these lasts longer than all the rest. To Rice, the extraordinary Energizer. It'll surprise ya.
Laboratory tests prove in most devices, Energizer lasts longer than New Energizer.
So I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew everyone loved Australia for some reason. Yeah. There was a sort of super chat I need to grab here. Mark's Music Obsession member for 15, not 12 months. Hey, guys, we'll be in and out tonight. House full of folks. Good flick. Hey, if you got a house full of family, please enjoy it and cherish those moments.
Yeah, and told me, said, what up?
Yeah.
Do you remember the batteries? I think it was Duracell, where you would press your fingers on each end and it would tell you how much juice was left in it. That shit hurt so bad.
Correction. You would squeeze your fingers until they were white, leaving bruises on them to test the battery. Do you remember how hard you had to squeeze the stupid thing?
Like you didn't just touch your hands to it. You had to squeeze that shit, and it had this little, almost like thermometer type thing, and it would go, and it would let you know whether green, yellow, or red, how much energy was left in your battery.
It would be nice if it did make a slide whistle sound effect, like you just did.
The slide whistle, a great idea. It was a great idea. It just wasn't executed very well.
Now, Tony C, she's a great friend of the show. She sent me that box of Australian snacks. I had a couple today, and I am going to make YouTube videos. I just haven't been doing any social media posting for almost 2 weeks because I am catching up from Comicon. I am going to Las Vegas. I am wheeling and dealing. Things are going great, but geez, I'm busier than ever. But Tony, you sent me those boxes of all those Australian snacks. I've had a few, and they're kind of amazing. You sent me that big box of chocolates. I didn't know what it was until today when I looked at it. Jericho, this thing has 11 different types of little like fun-sized candy bars, and they're insane. There was a cherry coconut one. There was like a molasses toffee one. There was Turkish Delight, which I thought was like a weird sex move, but apparently it's
something that involved a thumb.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll grab the little box actually to show you. But she says this guy was Mark Jacko Jackson. He was an Aussie rules football player, and Australian rules football is the most popular sport in Australia, according to a chart I read yesterday on Twitter. I don't know if that's true. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab that box of candy real quick to show it to you. And then I want to ask Tony if Australians in the 80s knew that America was going crazy for Australians. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was weird how that happened, how Australia just gained this kind of fame in America. But man, if you don't remember those Duracell batteries, those things were fucked up. Tips of your fingers were done. And the Australian accent, what a strange accent. you can tell there's remnants of a British accent in there. Sometimes if you're doing it or you hear somebody doing an Australian accent, sometimes they can't help but turn it into a British accent. So there's British there. And I know Australia was a prison colony. Is that where the prisoners came from? I can't remember if they came from Britain. I guess they would. But the Australian accent is something special. And there's nothing like it in the world, mate.
I made a mistake going in the kitchen and grabbing all these candies.
Now you gotta eat some.
Well, that's true. But my granddaughter, Big Baby, was having her nutritious dinner, and she is old enough now to be aware of what candy and cookies are.
Yeah.
And she refers to them as guggas. And my wife was sitting there feeding her some nutritious food, and she saw me grab the box of guggas, and she goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So it's gonna be gugga time soon. So, but what would you eat in here, Jericho? You got Crunchy, you got Twirl, you got Moro, you got Dairy Milk, you got Boost, you got another Dairy Milk, huh? You got Cherry Ripe, you got Turkish Delight, you got Dairy Milk Coconut Rough, and you got Picnic Dark and Wallaby. What would you try?
I'll try a Wallaby. Anything that's not fucking coconut, because that shit is disgusting. So I'll take a Wallaby.
I was at a zoo in Palm Springs like 2 weekends ago. I took my wife there for her birthday surprise, little trip to Palm Springs. And we went to this thing where you could see it's a step down from a kangaroo. So I think it could be a wallaby or something. But then they had a chart on the wall of all these different animals. And it was like a kangaroo, a wallaroo, a wallaby, but the names were so funny. There was a thing called a quokka, a koala, a quokka, a kangaroo. And then there was, I don't know, a wombat. I do like the names of all the Australian animals. I think they're kind of hilarious.
Yeah, and Australia is dangerous, like animal-wise.
That's what I've heard.
They got like a bunch of crazy shit over there. Don't mess around in Australia. Better stay in Sydney.
All right. It's British chocolate and Australian chocolate. Is British chocolate and Australian chocolate the same? Tony, is this British and Australian? I see the U. I see the British U right there in favorites.
Hate that.
I hate that. Or color.
And harbor and all that shit. Color.
Harbor and color and favorites.
Stop.
Quokka.
But yeah, you definitely stay in town in the city if you go to Australia. Don't fuck around in the bush. I remember seeing this thing. They have a thing called a funnel web spider.
No.
Funnel web spider. And they're aggressive. They're aggressive. They'll come into your house. They hide in shoes, little dark places and stuff. And this guy was like a exterminator. And these people had like 3 kids, a regular house. It wasn't like out in the middle of nowhere. It's like in town. And they're looking for it with flashlights. And they move the entertainment center. And there's this big ass funnel web spider. And they're not little, like little bitch ass black widows we got here. This thing was like this big. It was huge, like a few inches across. They're furry. They're tarantulas. They're a type of tarantula. And they got their fucking fangs are so strong that they could bite through your toenail. If it's inside your shoe,
get out
bite
of here.
Through your fucking toenail. And this is like as common as a daddy long legs here in America. Like they go in people's houses and shit, and you see them all the time. Fuck you, Australia.
When you said they were aggressive, I thought you meant like they come up to you with a clipboard to sign up to save the whales, like aggressive like that.
No, they're the good kind of aggressive.
Or they're like inviting you to a party for a multi-level marketing scheme. So, well, you sign up 10 people and they sign up 10 people. That's 100 people under you. Like,
yeah, you sell 10 of these all natural products, cleaning products. Yeah. Amway.
I've always wanted to do that. I told my wife this just to do some cringe humor. Invite my friends over and like just pretend we're having a normal party and then bust out some products and just start the full sales pitch.
Just wheel out a table
and just see how long I can keep it going before they like, Gabe, what are you doing, man? But I don't know that I could keep a straight face longer than 30 seconds on that because that is so cringy to me.
I think immediately somebody would be like, what the fuck? Sure.
All right. You're going to vote on this. I want to try the Moro or the Picnic Dark. I don't like dark chocolate, though.
So probably
I'm going to try the Moro.
Favorites.
My favorite is going to be the Moro. Now I tried.
Right.
They're small. They're like Halloween candy size. They're like little. So I tried 3 of them this afternoon. I liked 2 of them and didn't like 1 of them. I didn't like Crunchy because it tasted like molasses.
Right.
You know. So we're gonna try a Moro. I've never had a Cadbury Moro. I'm gonna try this live on the air.
That doesn't even, to add a U doesn't make sense. And that one, American English wins.
Right. Every time.
Favorite, not
Right.
favorite.
Okay. So the Moro is chocolate. There's caramel oozing out. You say
Ooh.
caramel and caramel. I say both.
Caramel.
I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. No, I say caramel.
What are you? Oh,
Caramel.
it's like chocolate nougat. Like the white nougat, but this is chocolate. Okay, so it's a Mars bar.
Or
It's
Three
nougat.
Musketeers.
Right. All right.
So you guys
Pretty good.
Yeah, you guys just, it's a Three Musketeers.
This is so much better than American chocolate because they use milk. They don't use milk powder.
Wait, what? Milk chocolate?
Yeah.
What are
Oh,
you talking about?
that's really good.
That one's your favorite.
Oh, it's quite good. Thank you, Tony, from Around Down Under.
Good job, Australia.
Oh.
Crikey, mate. Yeah, I'm gonna say a lot of Australian shit too.
Okay. So, anyway, let me bring this back
Raw.
up here.
My daughter, she used to watch this show. It's like PG, high school kind of shit. Like it was totally fine for her to watch. But it was in Australia and it's called H2O. It's about these girls who were mermaids in high school and they're always hiding, you know. Every time they would get water on them or land in the water, they turn into a mermaid. So there's all these scenes where they're like, "Oh, let's throw water balloons," and they're always trying to not turn into mermaids in front of everybody. Right? It's so stupid. But I used to always make fun when I come in the room and see her watching it. I would make fun of the way they say no.
Nar.
No, Chloe, no. Like Australian is an Australian accent is like, I guess, an English version of, like, I guess, the way Arabic sounds.
Okay,
Like
guys,
Arabic is not a romantic sounding language.
No, it's not.
You know?
It's not a smoochable one.
No, it doesn't. It sounds, you know, I don't know, not angry, but definitely aggressive.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute. Because tonight is an Australia themed show.
What?
And
this was terrible.
Tony, you're not allowed to leave the audience. I don't care what time it is in Australia right now. You will answer for your country's crimes. This woman got in charge of being the board of who gets to go to the Olympics from Australia for breakdancing, and her husband got to be the coach. Oh, and it just turns out that she won the contest and she got to represent Australia.
Nay.
Format is being able to express yourself.
This shit was crazy.
Being able to.
So Jericho, I'm in charge if I get paid $1 million for sitting on my butt this afternoon. I get the $1 million because I was in charge.
I mean, it wasn't horrible, but we're looking at it through the prism of the Olympics. This is supposed to be the greatest breakdancer from your country, and this is not it.
I don't know anything about breakdancing. I did not breakdance. I've seen breakdancing videos. Everybody has. And the only thing I can say about breakdancing is they are graceful. They are moving. They're like flying, the breakdancing. They're defying gravity, it looks like. This woman's dancing can only be described as lumpy.
Or seizure.
This is terrible.
Yeah, this is awful. But I mean, honestly, I don't think breakdancing should be in the fucking Olympics.
No, breakdancing isn't a sport. It doesn't belong there.
But this was awful. If this is the greatest female breakdancer in Australia, you guys have some explaining to do because she is fucking awful. Again, if she was at a wedding and somebody posted a video of this woman getting down at the reception, man, she's good. She has skills.
Right.
But through the prism of the greatest breakdancer from your country, this is fucking awful.
Tony, is this the height of Australian athleticism? Is this woman the pinnacle of femininity and dancing in Australia? Because if so, I might send the chocolate back. I might send it back.
That's what happens when you eat too much of that chocolate. But if her dancing was so seizure-like, that I hope that they put a tongue depressor in her mouth before she started dancing, so she would swallow her own tongue.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question. Because this is a new box of candy, See, Tony is not a cheapskate. She didn't go,
Raw.
"Oh, what's some old shit I could send Gabe I've had for 5 years in my
It was
pantry."
open.
Oh no, this has Olympic markings on it, so it's brand new. You see the Olympic rings there, but we have a little Australian Olympic basketball player
Oh no, you didn't.
in a wheelchair.
No, you didn't.
So
No, you didn't.
I don't know. This is how they're selling chocolate.
That's definitely a new box of chocolate right there for sure. If the Olympic rings didn't give it away, this wallaby basketball player in a fucking wheelchair. Come on.
He's a wallaby. He's a wallaby.
But there are people who do play basketball in wheelchairs. There's like teams and shit. But
Right.
come on. They're not the majority of basketball players.
No.
Most basketball players can stand up and play basketball.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like that's such a niche audience you're going after. Like, stop.
Right. Well, it's just virtue signaling. Hey, everyone, we care about disabled people. It's like, I have news for you. Everybody cares about disabled people.
Yeah,
Nobody wishes them ill. Nobody thinks it's funny or cool that they suffer and have problems that they have to deal with. Everyone thinks it's tough and sad for some of them.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to pretend you're the best person in the world and put your little guy on here and tell us what a hero you are. Because you supported the little disabled kangaroo and we didn't? Is that what you're trying to say? That we hate him?
You know what? I'm speaking for a double impact. We don't give a fuck about kangaroos and wheelchairs. Yeah. We don't. Of course, who doesn't? No one's ever said you deserve to be in a wheelchair. You deserve to be handicapped. Stop. Of course, people have they care about handicapped people and don't want them to be in that situation. You're not special.
Tony's saying,
I think this puppy's cute. Yes, everybody does.
Right. Yeah, it's like when people say they're a foodie. It's like, oh, you're the one that likes food. Oh,
different than I do.
Right. Or they're a movie buff. Oh, you like movies, huh?
Yeah, we're all
you like movies. Oh, you like music. Wow,
oh,
how unique.
Tell me about it. Tell me about this music.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it was a cute little wallaby. And even though he's in a chair, he's not letting it keep him down.
Hey, sorry about that, mate. Sorry in that wheelchair, mate.
You do pretty good on that Australian. I cannot do the Australian accent consistently. I can do like 2 or 3 words in it, and then it's like it's over. I start doing like a bad British one. So
that's what I was saying when you were going to get the candy. I was saying that when people do an Australian accent, it usually bleeds into a British one because it is British-esque. That's where they came from.
Right.
But my favorite thing to say in an Australian accent is, "Look at the size of that digger." I used to yell that when I went to Trader Joe's. I would yell that shit.
Look at the size of that what?
That digger. Like look at the size of that pecker.
Oh, I thought you said a pigger, and I'm like, what is a pigger?
Well, it's like but that's the reason I would yell it because no one could understand that last word. So
oh my goodness.
Look at that digger. The size of that digger.
So I'd never seen this movie before. And as I told you, it was kind of shocking to me that it didn't have a story per se. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of moments of him being a fish out of water in New York City. And it was funny and I liked it. And you pointed out it's a love story. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. It is a love story, this movie.
I think it was more than a fish out of water. It was a fish that was 10 miles away from water. He was having a tough time leaving the bush. Because that's all he knew, man. He didn't even know. He doesn't even know his birthday. Like he's so in the bush.
Oh, that's right.
He wasn't like, he wore clothes and there was a bar that he went to. He had friends, drove a car. He wasn't like isolated, but that small town, Walkabout Creek, was all he knew.
Right.
Never been on a plane, nothing. As far as his Jeep would take him, that's as far as he went from Walkabout Creek. Walkabout
Creek.
Walkabout. It's like it's almost a B out. Walkabout.
How would you spell that? How would you spell walkabout?
Good. B-E-Y-O-U-T. out. Walkabout. I don't know how to explain that. Tony, help me.
Yeah, we need the expert help of Tony.
You're a resident expert on Australia.
Right. Yeah, she's gonna have to cover for like New Zealand, Tasmania, Australia, maybe even some Southeast Asian nations. We're gonna ask her what she knows about like American Samoa and the Philippines if we have to.
Yeah, you better brush up, Tony.
Yeah.
But that's where a lot of Australians go to vacation in Southeast Asia.
So yeah, I would love to know more about it, you know.
Right.
I would absolutely love to know more about you know, why don't we bring someone on that could be an expert about the land down under? You know, I think that'd be a good thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, it was short notice, but I was able to get a hold of his number. And here he comes, Kangaroo Dundee.
Hi there, mate.
How you doing, buddy? How'd you do in the Olympics?
Oh, I did all right, mate. I couldn't really get on the podium and stand up there, but I did all right.
What did you think of your fellow countrywoman, the very talented breakdancer? What did you think of her?
Well, I think I can break dance better than her. My legs don't work. It was an atrocity, mate.
Did you think it was fair that she was the one in charge of deciding who goes to the Olympics, and then somehow she won that contest? You think that was very sporting of her?
No, Gabe, I don't think you understand what I said. If I were to get out of this wheelchair and lay on the floor and try to pull myself around with my dead legs, that'd be better than what she did out there, mate.
She really disgraced your country, but we still love Australians. We know that she's an outlier. We know Australians are good people. This woman is just...
She's just a liar.
She's a liar. That's true. Too right,
a
mate.
Liar.
So, Kangaroo Dundee. God, sorry. How did you enjoy Paris? How was it? What did you think? Had you ever been to Europe before?
I've never been there, but French people stink, mate.
Oh, it was, so that kind of caught you off guard, a little bit of the natural odors in the air?
Yeah, because where I'm at, I'm like waist level, mate. Little stinking crotches there in Paris, mate.
Oh, my goodness. I feel very sorry for you. Did you get to ride the metro and go to the Louvre and see the Tour Eiffel, the Eiffel Tower? Did you get to do all the French things while you were there?
I tried, mate, but that food's disgusting, mate. It tastes like shit. Just like it says in the movie, mate. You can live on it, but it tastes like shit.
Oh, my goodness. Well, and now you're back home, right? You're back home in the is it the Northern Territories where you live? Or I don't remember. Australia's a big place, but I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, I live in the Northern Territory, mate.
All right. And so Crocodile Dundee is the movie we're going to talk about tonight. Did you see that as a child? Did it inspire you to athletic greatness? The great Paul Hogan, did he inspire you in any way?
Yeah, it's required viewing here in Australia, mate. Ever since you're knee-high to a dingo.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, so we're going to get into the movie now. I want to thank you for joining us. And if you could say anything to Rachel Gunn, this dishonest breakdancer, what would you say to her right now if you could?
I'd say go in there, but go on a walkabout and never return, mate. You're a fucking disgrace.
All right. Kangaroo Dundee, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Kangaroo Dundee. Oh, what a guy. What a guy, huh?
What a guy. Nice of him to stop by after you getting back from Paris and everything just a few days.
You know, he has like 7 kids with like 5 different women. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's a trip. I was like, wait a minute, but from the waist down, I guess everything's not broken.
Yeah,
you know
he's prolific, as they say.
He's fertile.
Yeah. So anyway, Double Impact, Crocodile Dundee. I've wondered about this movie since I was about an 8-year-old boy in 1986, reading through the new San Diego Union Tribune movie section of the paper, fascinated by this movie, and never got around to watching it until 3 days ago. It was not at all what I thought it would be. I thought it was an action comedy, and it's more of I was telling you before the show, Jericho, a diet romance, right? It's a romance movie, but like in a very light way. It doesn't seem to have a central plot like the classic 3-act hero's journey structure. It's a lot of vignettes of she's a fish out of water in Australia, and then he's a fish out of water in New York, and then they're in love at the end. But there was no big challenge they ever overcame. So it's a good movie, though. And it defies logic because it shouldn't be a good movie since it doesn't really have a story.
I think the difference between their 2 fish out of water experiences was with hers, she tried not to be a fish out of water. She tried to be a badass. in his element, and it didn't work out too well. But maybe the thing they're trying to triumph over is maybe her family not wanting to be with him.
That's so light. In the
Maybe
movie. They don't push on that very much at all. Like her rich dad that owns a paper. He's not mean to Crocodile. He's not mean to him. The boyfriend here, he's not a total jerk or anything. And he does razz Crocodile Dundee about twice. He razzes him at the bar and he razzes him at the restaurant.
He doesn't do it again.
No, he learns his lesson.
He learns.
Yeah, he learns.
Jeez. But he reminded me of like what's that dude's name? Tony Goldwyn. He was the bad guy from Ghost. Hold on. He reminded me of that country club. My daddy has money. That asshole. Right. You know, that's who this guy reminded me of. I think he played it very well. But you can tell from the beginning, you know, they were engaged and everything, her and this dude, but that shit wasn't real. Like,
it's a marriage of convenience, a political marriage. It's good for him so he could move up in the world into her rich family because he's an editor at the newspaper. The father owns the newspaper, so that's very good politically for him. It's good for her to marry a man who's at the top of the company. Her dad's running and all that, so it doesn't seem like a fairy tale romance. It seems very political. So, but again, they don't touch on it much. The depth of the relationship between these him and her is not really shown that much. This movie really confuses me because as a writer myself, I'm like, this should be a terrible movie. It does not have a plot really, and it's not a bad movie. I don't know.
It's not, man. I think the ending is great in this movie, and there are some really cool parts.
The ending is spectacular. The final scene, I love. Yeah, that is really well written.
That was great, man. That was a different New York City back then. But his fish out of the water was better than hers, I think, because he was just like, whoa, everything. It was like he came from 1800. Like everything was blowing his mind. And things that are just so, you know, just part of our everyday. He was just like, whoa. It was so funny.
And then another great thing I loved is the great Reginald Vell Johnson is in this movie.
Hey, driving that limo, man.
That's right. So he saved Bruce Willis in Die Hard, and he comes through for Crocodile Dundee.
Just a year before.
Right.
He was hot in the 80s. Then from, let's see, Crocodile Dundee in 86, Die Hard in 88. Wasn't he in Die Hard 2? I think he had like a small part.
Yeah, so, he ends up in Die Hard 2,
which was terrible. Crocodile Dundee, Die Hard. Then you get into Family Matters, Carl Winslow. Right. Then you get into 1990, Die Hard 2. So quite a run there, Reggie.
Real quick, Christian Delorme's vinyl revival for Canadian $2, which could be $1 billion American. I don't know. Shout out to my favorite Hoser.
Hey, you fucking Hoser. Yeah, he's been a long time viewer of my videos and stuff up there in Canada. Okay. So yeah, he's a good dude. Thanks. Well, good to see you, man. This might be your first time here.
From the People's Republic of Canada, under Trudeau's authoritarian rule. Welcome in, Christian.
And he does write the U in stuff.
Oh, like favorite and color.
Yeah. I guess it's a Canadian thing. But
well, he didn't there. He's contradicting you. Look, shout out to my favorite, the correct American way, Hoser.
I think it's shout out.
He just made a liar out of you.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Well, thank you for the 2, and here you go. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So this thing has another thing you love. So it seems like she's on the phone. Is she in an apartment? Yeah. Or is she in Australia? Is that the Sydney Opera House in the background? Is she already in Australia?
Yeah, she's already in Australia. In a dank little hole in the wall, it looks like.
Yeah.
Fucking look at that.
Right.
360 views. Yeah, she's already there.
Yeah, my goodness. So her whole angle is she's a reporter and she's going to do this human interest story on Michael J. Not Fox. Wait, hold on. Michael J. Fox. A fox is an animal. This guy's Michael J. Crocodile. Michael J. Crocodile, Michael J. Fox. What's going on? His name
There might have been some correspondence. Maybe there was some correspondence between his legal team and Michael J. Fox's legal team. I don't know.
Well, because Michael J. Fox was hot in 1985, right? 1986. You got Back to the Future. You got it's not Growing Pains. What is it? The
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
Mm-hmm.
He's red hot, Michael J. Fox, at this time. So you couldn't say Michael J. Crocodile without thinking of Michael J. Fox. Interesting. Interesting. So anyway, she's here on the phone with her boyfriend, her editor.
Tony Golden.
Say she's going to go out and meet Michael J. Fox, Crocodile Dundee. He's a legendary man of the Outback and the bush country. Got his leg bitten off by a crocodile, and he does Outback tours, I guess, for tourists and all that stuff. And she's going to go stay there and interview him and find out all about him and what's this guy all about. And she conveniently doesn't tell her boyfriend that she's going to be sleeping 13 inches away from this guy, which...
Yeah. And his dick is 16 inches, so it's
right. So, hey, you're married. I'm married. Our wives are not international reporters. I feel like I wouldn't want my wife to go stay with a man, a handsome, athletic man of adventure who kills crocodiles with a knife. I don't want my wife in a sleeping bag next to that guy. I'm not saying anything about my wife at all. I'm just saying I think this is a bad idea.
No, I would be out in the driveway honking the horn with my suitcase. Let's go. Where are you going? No, we're going to see Crocodile Dundee. It's a family trip. You ain't going by yourself with this fucking crocodile tooth necklace, son of a bitch. No way.
How would you feel if you went out there in the bush with your wife and Crocodile Dundee and you guys got attacked by a crocodile and it knocked you down and hurt you and almost got your wife, and then he killed it for the two of you? Would you just kill I can't say that on YouTube. Would you just kill a 6-pack of beer?
We would both owe him a BJ after that, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
No, that would be quite emasculating, and not even him killing it, but you thanking him for it. That would be the part where
thank you, Mr. Dundee, for killing the crocodile.
Where you hand your testicles to him. Yeah, that would be all bad.
Yeah. So, guys, don't send your wife or girlfriend to the handsome man of death and daring and danger and adventure halfway across the globe in an exotic, beautiful locale. This is a very bad idea.
Yep. Don't send her to the bush unless you want him in her bush. That's what I said.
It's like I wanted to learn to dance and I never did it, but I looked up this tango school in San Diego near the airport. It's like a famous, this guy's been doing it forever. And I went to the website. I'm going to go look at it right now because I have to show you this.
Did he not button his top 6 buttons on his shirt?
This motherfucker is like thin and in shape with gray hair and a long gray ponytail.
Nah, get the fuck
out. And I'm like, I'm not sending my wife to this shit. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Take your dick root and get out of here.
Right. Let's go find this guy. Because I went to the thing that how much does this cost? And then it's like, my name is Juan Carlos. I would teach your wife the language of love, dancing. Get the hell out of here.
I'll fucking teach you how to drink your food through a straw for 6 months.
Right. Now, it was 10 years ago when I looked at the website and the guy was on here. I'm looking at it now and I don't see him anywhere.
It sounds like your hate still burns just as hot as it did.
No, I just listen. I'm not going to incriminate myself here. When it comes to the ladies, I'm a passionate man. Let's just put it that way. We can smell our own, Jericho.
Yeah.
All right. So I see this guy and I'm like, oh, okay. I know exactly what
I'm not stupid.
I know exactly what this is.
If there was something you were into, let's say it was this comic book art class with this world-renowned artist, and she looks up the website and she has tits up to her chin.
Right.
No, get out of here. It's fucking Jessica Rabbit is fucking hosting this class. No thanks.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Let me pick that up. No,
I just got to find a picture of this guy because he looked like a European guy, which makes it worse. Like a European Spanish guy, thin, in shape, dancer's body. But he had gray hair pulled back in a long gray ponytail.
Oh, so you've been doing this for a long time, huh, fucker?
Right. This guy's got his scam all worked out.
He's got it. Down, he already knows when you pull in the parking lot. He's looking from his fucking window, looking down at your car, like, "Oh,
this mofo is probably
Got
have
him.
4 generations of bastard kids running around San Diego,
Yeah.
and you know they're his because they can all dance like Michael Jackson. These kids,
Yeah,
You know?
fucker. Dude, he looks like Fabio. Remember Fabio? Dude, if Australia had a run here in the 80s, Fabio had a run in America in the 90s.
He's Australian too, huh?
No, I think he's like French or some shit.
Oh,
But Fabio, I don't know how the fuck, but Fabio was everywhere in the 90s. Bastard.
I'm trying to find the damn
Fabio.
Tango Academy. Okay, Tango Academy. Where is-
Academy, trying to make it sound
Oh,
classy.
yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
you.
I'm trying to find the damn syllabus. Enter. Okay, this is an old style
It's an
website.
academy. What could happen?
Oh, ArgentineTangoSyllabus.com. That's where
No,
you go.
We're out of here. Yeah, you lost me in Argentine.
Lessons, home.
Fuck you.
Oh, come on. This is a whole. Did your brother make this website? This is. Oh, here we go. Maestro Ive
Maestro.
Simard. Here he is, dude.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
You know this guy. You know exactly what he's been up to for like 40 years.
Dude, that's the ponytail Seagal wanted.
Right.
That thing's long. It's
Right.
long and thick, and you can really judge a good ponytail by up here where it starts. That shit's thick.
So
all the
imagine
way
this
down.
guy. He's thin. He's athletic. He's old, but he's got the ponytail. He's got the confidence, and he's got one hand on the small of your wife's back, and the other hand has her hand up. And
Yeah.
he is cutting a rug like you can't, Jericho.
No, there's no rug cutting.
No, forget
Maestro.
this guy. I know
Ive
exactly what you're doing, Maestro.
Yeah, you ain't fooling nobody.
What? I'm trying to teach your wife the art of the tango.
Why do you talk like that, fucker? Why do you
Slow,
talk like the cat from Shrek?
slow like a lover.
Let me put my hand in the small of your back.
Oh, this guy. This
But
guy.
you know what? Cut the music. We're leaving right now. We just got here. No, look at you. Look down at your feet. You're not even touching the ground. You're floating right now. Let's go.
I think I will eventually go to the tango school though and learn to dance because why not? You only live once. You might as well learn.
Just
Something
make sure
I've
you go
never
to all
done.
the classes.
Never danced in my life. Don't know anything about it. So that's why I was interested. Like learn something I know nothing about. And then, Jericho, I can live out my dream in 4 years. Los Angeles, California. I will represent the United States in breakdancing at the Olympics.
Dude, you could do that now. Judging by Australian standards, you could do that right now.
Wait. Where are you going? I want to teach your wife.
You can,
Maestro.
Jericho. Why don't you go out to the vending machine and get us a snack?
Get us some bottled water. It's hot. Here.
I thirst passionately.
They bring me a water, it will sweat. They will go down into the cleavage of my chest.
He's Maestro Ivre. Whatever, dude.
Ive Simard.
I saw that ponytail. I'm like, oh no, mister.
Ponytail out of here.
No way.
Goodbye. But wait, baby might be good. No, fuck.
Yeah.
Why don't you go live with Eve Samar?
All right. So anyway, the beautiful reporter, and she's a beautiful actress. I don't know who she is, but she's got $1 million smile. When she smiles, it's beautiful. I don't know her name or anything, but yeah, she was a great.
Blonde.
Yeah. I told you there's nothing wrong with blondes. I just prefer brunettes. That's
No,
all.
that's not the way you put it. That's how you would say it in court. That's not how you said it in fucking real life.
Famke Janssen is hotter than the other lady in the James Bond movie, and you're
That's
crazy
ridiculous.
thinking otherwise.
That is absolutely
The
fucking
other lady is so
ridiculous.
plain. Famke
How?
Janssen is so exotic.
How?
Her eyes, her facial structure, her chin, she's exotic. She's a supermodel. Come on. She didn't look every day. The blonde one was every day pretty. She
She was
looked pretty.
gorgeous.
You know.
This is no, fucking ridiculous.
I don't know. We're not rehashing this. I was right. You admitted it off the air in private.
Bullshit.
Remember?
Bullshit. And hey, when I went to San Diego, Gabe had 3 fish tacos. He's a fucking liar.
Oh yeah. I had roasted squid. I had some salmon roe. I had
Roasted squid. That's like somebody's parents talking about rap music. Roasted squid. I've never heard of that.
you could roast it. It'll stink up the whole house.
Grilled squid. How about that?
Ugh,
Never roasted.
you just shouldn't eat it. Jose Taco. Hi, bros. Well, hi, Jose Taco.
What up, Jose?
So anyway, the beautiful albeit blonde, news reporter. She's going to fly to the
Despite
Outback,
her handicap. Yeah.
fly doing a human interest story. So she goes out there to meet Crocodile Dundee.
Meek.
I like this guy on the right flying the helicopter because I feel like he's not an actor. I feel like he's actually a local Australian private helicopter guy that they hired for the movie. And when he watched this movie with his family, like, that's me, your uncle. I'm in a movie. Wait, see,
Hey,
that was,
what on that movie there? They didn't tell me it was filming me, mate.
I think I felt that way about a lot of the actors from the Australia stuff when they were in Australia. I think a lot of those people were not actors. They were just some local dudes and who were like, yeah, we'll be in the movie.
well, I read about this movie on Wikipedia, so who knows? It said this was a small budget movie, like $10 million. And it was, you know, he wasn't a big star or anything yet, Paul Hogan. And they just wanted to make a movie they thought could maybe cross over to the American market. They had no idea that it would go on to be the second highest grossing movie of the year in 1986.
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee. And to go back to your what you were saying about the advertisements in the newspaper, again, I hate to beat this dead horse, but we haven't taken it to the glue factory yet. So what are we supposed to do?
Right.
But the advertisement, not only just the previews, but those movie advertisements in the newspapers were everything. When you turn that page, you see there's always a big one. There's always a big picture there for a movie that was like the big budget summer blockbuster. And then it's another thing. It had the times. It had the theaters where it would be, and it had the times that you could go and watch the movie. There was no look on your phone online, go on your Fandango app. You had to get that newspaper, or you had to be like at the mall, driving by the marquee or something like that. But man, for me, it was the movie advertisements in the newspaper and the Big Five sale paper that came out every Wednesday, because it was in color and it had like guns and shit, ammunition in there, and crossbows and arrows and stuff like that.
Right. So so this is how it looked.
This was everything.
It was awesome, guys. It was an awesome time.
Look at that lineup. Look at those movies: Die Hard, Action Jackson, 48 Hours,
Big Trouble,
Tango and Cash,
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Jeez. They Live, one of my favorites.
Man, these movies.
Yeah, here's some more. Aliens, Flight of the Nav. The 80s was the best decade for movies, like just unmatched.
Yeah.
Quality.
And they're in black and white, but not in your mind. They would just show you these pictures, a little, the tagline, this time it's personal, whatever it was. And then that was lighting the fuse to your imagination.
Right.
It was like one of those long, elaborate things where they tip the first domino and it takes 10 minutes to reveal this image. That was just the first domino being tipped over, and your imagination was just like, fuck. You couldn't wait to see this movie.
Think about what you think about. You could call your local movie theater and it would be like, Lethal Weapon 2 is playing at 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. And then it would be like Nightmare on Elm Street is playing at 1 p.m. It would do like a thing. It was less convenient than now, but I'm telling you, it was a better world in so many ways, because you couldn't just have whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted it. The fact that we could just have everything on demand because of the internet, it desensitizes us to any sort of feelings of reward or pleasure. And people have to like doom scroll Instagram and TikTok reels every 12 seconds to get like a little bit of dopamine to keep their nose above water. It was a better world when things were rare, things were harder to find, harder to come by. You know what I watched for the first time in probably 10 years? Since I got a Blu-ray player for my birthday last month,
finally,
the first movie I watched on it was Star Wars: A New Hope. Probably tied for my favorite movie with another movie or two. And then I watched Empire Strikes Back like 2 days later. And Big Baby sat there and watched the whole thing with me, and she loved them. But
those are the best.
What struck me is how good the dialogue and characterization is in those, and how they weren't like Marvel movies with the stupid quips every 10 seconds, and they didn't do the weird identity politics. And it was just I was telling my wife, I was sitting there watching Star Wars, and I turned around and I go, I hope I write something this good someday. Like, oh my God, it holds up. It's so well written. It's so well written.
They were held to a higher standard back then, and they left a lot. It was just not knowing and waiting. That's what the 80s and 90s were all about. And you just had to wait. You had to wait for that day. You had to wait for the Sunday paper to get the Parade magazine insert out of it. You had to wait for the Sunday paper to get the comics in color. You had to wait for the Big Five paper. You had to wait. And you're just built. I think it was better because it left more stuff to our imagination, building it up in our mind. imagining what that's going to be like, imagining, oh, what movies are going to be in the paper this week. And yes, you could call that number, but most of the time I just waited to see what was in the paper. And if you missed it.
That was it. That was it. It'll be on VHS in about a year, maybe more.
Yeah, and it sucked. Man, did it suck. But
and it won't be on TV. It won't be on TV for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't see Empire Strikes Back in the theater, it's not going to be on Laserdisc or VHS for probably a year or two or something. And they're not showing it on TV for like 4 years. So you just didn't get to see it.
Showtime. And then all you had was Showtime and HBO. Cinemax. Right. You had like a handful of stations or channels where you could watch it like unedited, cuss words, titties. And for it to get to network TV, you're going to forget that movie existed by the time that shit gets to network TV.
And then everybody would record movies off the TV.
Yep.
Everybody.
With the commercials, but you could fast forward through the commercials. Yeah. And there were, dude, one time I counted 25 commercials. It was like the Friday night lineup on NBC. So everybody was watching 25 commercials.
You could
go take a shit and come back. Yes.
What?
You could go take a shit and come back.
Wait a minute. If commercials are 30 seconds and there's 25 of them, that's over 12 minutes straight.
I counted 25 commercials.
That's insane.
It sucked.
Yeah, and so as an artist myself, as a writer, as a storyteller, I'll tell you that the abstract, right? That's the simplified idea of something. When you leave things to the imagination, when you let the anticipation build for people, when you let people fill in the gaps, the thing about the human mind and the imagination is it feels perfect. You don't have a limited budget in your feelings or your imagination. So whatever you feel, fear, anger, envy, beauty, happiness, you feel it perfectly. So as a storyteller, one of the most important things to do is to not tell the audience too much. Tell them enough and then let them fill it in. It's always that less is more. It's as Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit, right? So that's such, and that also applies to having to wait 6 months for the movie to come out. That anticipation you feel is a perfect emotion. Whereas if I show you everything and give you everything, it leaves you no room to have any emotion and you just have what I gave you. And if I'm not good enough in what I gave you to make you feel what I want you to feel, it's inferior to the feelings that you would have conjured on your own. So that's the thing that I'm very aware of when I create stuff.
Yeah, and making the audience feel what they wanted to feel from that. And it's often like with telling jokes or improvising or improv or something like that. Sometimes you have to trust your audience to get your joke. You don't want to over explain the joke because that takes the fucking air out of it. You have to fucking trust that your audience is smart enough. And sometimes it's good that you tell like this esoteric joke that only a few people will get, because that's almost like saying, hey, that's almost like a badge of honor. But you have to trust your audience can get your humor. I
would say this, as an artist, you never make the art for the audience. People go, oh, they could be offended. It's like, no, don't misunderstand me. You want them to love it. You want them to enjoy it, to be uplifted by it. But when you make the art, your chief goal should be to make it with as much skill as you can. That's what you're caring about when you make it. What you don't do is what the left-wing social justice warrior do. Say, well, if I make the main character an illegal immigrant, gay, black guy, then everyone will think I'm a hero because I'm so accepting. That's not how you don't write to get a reaction. You don't make art to get a reaction. You make art to make it excellent. And then the reaction will take care of itself. You see what I'm saying? If I make excellent art, then you will have a great reaction. But if I make art with this greedy desire to, I want them to give me external approval, that's why all the modern writing sucks at Disney and all that. I heard today, Paramount Plus, it's all woke Star Trek, woke this, woke that. They're shutting down their television division. Shutting it down. That's probably thousands of jobs being lost because they won't stop making woke crap that nobody likes.
Yeah, you can't bog down humor with preaching. It's like taking your favorite meal. Think of your favorite meal, something your Thanksgiving, or something your mom used to make, or a restaurant you went to one time or you were on the road, or the best pizza. Take that meal and go eat it in the bathroom while you're taking a shit. You ruined it. This perfect thing, and you just ruined it. And now I can't enjoy it because of the shit you mixed in there. Stick to one thing or another. Preach, and they'll go to hear your preaching, or give them the art. You can't mix the two. That's terrible.
I'm watching Empire Strikes Back the other day, and Yoda's talking to Luke when he's training him in the swamp. the dark side, it's evil, it's the shortcut, it's very seductive, blah, blah, blah. The good side, the light side. You watch some modern Disney Star Wars, and they're like, maybe the Jedi were the bad guys, and Darth Vader was misunderstood. They really, the latest Disney show, that's what the theme of it was. That the dark Jedis, they were kind of victims, and the Jedis were actually fascists. And this is all that communist, satanic, good is evil, evil is good. It's all the inversion that they always do, these social justice people. And it couldn't miss the mark more of what this stuff is supposed to be about. I think art, and I'll get off the soapbox here in a minute, it's about truth and beauty. And when you lie to your audience, they know it, and they don't enjoy the stories. When you tell me Darth Vader is the good guy, you're lying to me, and I know it, so your writing sucks. It's that simple. You can't tell me the bad guy's the good guy. You can't tell me that.
Not only do I know that, but I've known it for 40 years. This has been in my mind for decades. I know this.
It's wired into us as humans.
So you're going to tell me something I've known for decades? Now you're going to tell me I was wrong? Fuck you.
You know what these people remind me of? The leftist social justice warrior. They just remind me of Lisa Simpson. Remember, she was always just a little bitch with an axe to grind. She was better than everyone. She knew more than everyone. But she was just always trying to ruin everything for everyone.
She was a wet blanket.
Right. She was. I remember like her dad was trying to have a barbecue. And then she wanted to protest cooking the pig. And I'm here with my tomato soup, gazpacho. It's a cold tomato soup.
Oh,
and then she's like, and I brought a salad. And then one of the funniest things in that episode is Homer and Bart start singing, "You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad." They start making fun of her about the salad. And it just seems like the leftists, they want to destroy. I saw someone say the other day, I forgot who it was. I saw it on Twitter. Said communism is just a bunch of ugly, weird people who are jealous of beautiful and handsome, successful people and trying to ruin their lives out of resentment. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Oh, you like Luke Skywalker, the hero? Well, I'm going to make a version where he's the bad guy to ruin it for you. So what the fuck is your problem? Why don't you go away, you weirdo?
Yeah. I invite you over for a barbecue and you bring me some marinated tofu to throw on the grill.
Right.
Fuck you. Go
Yeah.
on.
So anyway, all art is expression. It is. Even poorly made art, it's self-expression. And sometimes what the artist is expressing is that they're a horrible narcissist. So keep that in mind.
That's not what we want.
No.
Entertain me, you peasant. Entertain me.
The great writer, very good friend of mine, Mike Barron, he says the first goal is to entertain. So that's the first goal. Then you want to inspire people, all that afterwards. The first goal is just put a smile on their face.
Yeah, keep it simple, damn it.
Anyway, we're 2 minutes into this movie. I'll move it along. The beautiful, intrepid reporter, she goes out to the Outback. Oh, this Australian accent of mine. My goodness. And is this guy gay? Is Crocodile Dundee's friend gay? Because he's wearing like a scarf.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they would have much love for him out in that kind of setting if he was.
Right. That's right.
I think
there's some not PC jokes later.
Yeah, dude. I think he just likes an ascot. That's all.
Oh.
Walter.
Well, you've never worn an ascot. It's quite delightful.
Yeah, you look nice.
Right. So he takes her to the Walkabout Creek Hotel. It's a tiny little place. It's a bar, and it's a bunch of roughnecks. A bunch of guys that look like bikers and truckers are there. And they're this guy's putting a beer on his head, the guy in the flannel sleeveless, and he's having his mates punch him in the belly, and he won't spill any drink, even though they punch him right in the stomach. So
yeah, that's what he told us. He won't spill a drop. And so the guys put a beer on his head, and then I don't know if they have to like buy it for him if he doesn't spill it or what, but yeah, dude, they give it to him right in the gut.
Right.
You don't spill a fucking drop.
So we get to know some of these, we get the flavor of this place. It's a bunch of roughnecks, our equivalent of like rednecks and truckers and bikers and all that kind of like real rough, real macho dudes. And let's see.
My son, I was watching with him, he goes, "Dad, why are they so dirty?" I was like, "That's just the life they live, man. They live in the dirt. You look on the outside, it's just like a dust bowl. Those guys are doing hard work, man. All they want to do is come in and have a nice cold Foster's beer. Australian for beer." Now,
is Foster's really an Australian beer, or is it like Outback Steakhouse? It's like an American thing we pretend is Australian.
No, you can see it in one of the shots.
Oh, it's really
the
an Australian
thing. They have a Foster's beer poster or picture in the background. So, I think these guys wouldn't be drinking no bullshit.
So, Crocodile Dundee seems to be a local legend. His reputation precedes it. People are talking about him before he even comes in the bar. and this and that. He's the man who killed the crocodile and he got his leg bit off, and he does this, he does that. And he comes in fighting a crocodile, but then it turns out it's just a taxidermy stuffed one, you know.
Yeah, but everybody's like wrestling with it. Like it looks, I mean, to the, you know, the someone who's not in on it, that shit looked real. They're like pulling it around. Even Donk was wrestling with it and shit. But
I'm telling you that
stuff.
That fancy city boy, New York editor, he made a big mistake sending his woman down. Look at this guy. Muscles, no shirt, dead animal that he killed, weapons. Women, a woman, they love a guy that's armed and in his uniform. This is his Outback uniform. Horrible choice, New York editor guy. Horrible.
They should just name that place Testosterone Australia. That's what the name of it is. Because he fucked up. He really did.
Right. So yeah, so he meets her and he immediately starts dancing with this Shayla.
Yeah. Like, hey, where'd you send your fiance? Oh, I sent her to a place called Dick, Australia. You think that was a bad idea?
Yeah. A bunch of tough dudes who kill animals with their bare hands. They're gonna dance with my wife.
But she said she'll FaceTime me every night. So it'll be fine. Right.
And then these guys, they're like talking trash and making fun of Crocodile Dundee. So
he's saying he's a poacher.
Right. He's a filthy poacher.
Yeah, fucking poacher, man.
Right. So then he knocks that fat dude out, and his buddies drag him out of the bar.
He takes his left. He doesn't take his hand off of her waist, and he throws a left hook and knocks that dude smooth the fuck out right there, and he falls into the table. Classic bar fight, except you know it doesn't erupt in this huge fight. They just pick their homeboy up.
Well, that's how masculine this place is. Like, nah, his buddies see him get knocked out. Like, nah, he kind of deserved it. He was mouthing off.
Yeah, because he says, hey, Dundee, where can we go shoot a good crocodile? They'll start laughing. He's all, well, I don't know. Shit for Brian's. And his buddy's like, ooh. And as a man, when your homeboys go, ooh, you got to do something.
Right.
So he decided to, rarely are you going to be the bigger man and let it go. He decided to do something. He stood up and got his ass.
Yeah. So this is like basically Cheers in Australia. Everybody knows your name. This is where he hangs out all the time when he's not doing Outback stuff.
Nick.
And then he goes to punch the beer off this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Plot twist. No, he doesn't punch him. He's all, Donk, I'm feeling lucky, mate. He goes, oh, everyone's like, oh, I'm taking bets. And he puts a beer in his head, and instead he acts like he's going to punch him. And instead he goes up and kisses him on the mouth, and then he fucking spills the beer and starts swinging at him. He's like, so that further lets you know that homeboy wouldn't be in the alphabet soup group out there.
Right. And just think of the context, because this movie's 38 years old now. And you give him a male-to-male kiss, but it's a Bugs Bunny style.
Yeah.
Where there's no homosexuality applied. It's just he's goofing on the guy.
It's just to piss him off.
Do you remember in the 80s and 90s at Halloween, at least one or two boys in the school would dress up as a girl for Halloween? Do you remember that?
And that was silly and ridiculous.
And everyone laughed, and it was just a silly thing.
Yeah.
And then no one thought about it the day.
They put like socks in a bra and put on like a granny dress. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it was silly. That's why it was a joke. But now
you couldn't do that now. That's gone.
Now they're in the administration's cabinet, and it's like mainstream. And if you laugh at them now, you know that's the same as physically hurting them.
Well, it's hate speech.
And you can't. That's an oxymoron, because the free speech is to protect things that people aren't going to like. If you just said, dude, puppies are adorable, nobody's going to have a problem with that. There's no reason to protect that, because of course. Now, if you say I want to drop kick a puppy, well, people might have a problem with that. Therefore, we need to protect that language. Oh, goodness. In 1986, is there any room for me? I'm coming back. Coming back, man.
What would you miss most from 2024 as you go back to 86?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I would miss anything from 2024. Because, technology, I guess that would be our greatest claim to fame, but a world without social media and a phone up your ass every day, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't know if I miss anything. I'll tell you what, I definitely take a list of companies I need to invest in if I go back to 1986.
Right.
That's for damn sure.
Anyway.
Right now, Big Man Comics. I gotta get on the ground floor of that bad boy.
Right. So they leave in his battle wagon with the boat on the roof.
Dude,
The,
Mad Max right there.
The reporter, the not gay assistant, and then Crocodile Dundee himself. And they're heading out to the Outback or the bush. Is there a difference between the Outback and the bush?
Yeah, I think the bush can be reached. I think the Outback is like, or I mean, it could be reached easier. Like you're just going out in the wilderness. But the Outback, I think it's something else. I think that's where they have the blooming onions. They grow on trees out here, man. Here's a blooming onion.
I just like that there's an animal called a quokka.
There's all kinds of weird. Isn't that with a duck-billed platypus?
Yeah,
what the fuck is that thing?
Here's your quokka. Prepare for a cuteness overload. That's a quokka.
That's like a little chubby kangaroo.
Look at this guy. Hi, I'm a quokka.
Yeah, I'll probably fucking bite the shit out of you too. That's when you have a quokka purse.
And I think they're tiny too. I think they're just like little cute, like they're like a beanie baby, I think.
Yeah. Dude, I like a duck-billed platypus. If there were people carrying the parts for 5 different animals and they all ran into each other in the hallway, that's what a duck-billed platypus is. That thing is weird.
Right. It's a marsupial.
Mammal.
Oh, it's a mammal? Marsupial.
Well, it lays eggs, but it's a mammal, I think. It has fur.
Right.
And poisonous.
It has venom. It has the duck bill. So it's like a beaver with a duck bill and poison, but it lays eggs. But doesn't it also have a pouch where they live in it after the eggs, or no? I don't know.
Yeah, somebody was carrying a snake, a bird, a beaver, and maybe a kangaroo, and they all just ran into each other. All their shit just mixed together. And I guess make this.
Duck-billed platypus is a semi-aquatic egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania.
Tasmanian devil, mate. He spins around, mate. Real angry, spins around in the
So
shit.
it's not a marsupial, it's a monotreme. That's right. That's an egg-laying one.
Fuck yeah, bro. Like there are more things like that. Isn't that the only thing in the world that's like that?
I don't know. Let's see. I think there's a couple. Monotremes are the only known group of living mammals that lay eggs. You have 4 of the 5 extant monotremes. You have the long-beaked echidna, the platypus, and then another type of echidna. Looks like there's 3 echidnas and 1 platypus, and then an extinct thing that they didn't list.
Some extinct thing that we killed.
Yeah, something that we ate, something that we deep fried and ate.
Something that we just shot and threw in a big pile. God,
these quokkaroos are delicious. Are they any
yeah,
more?
I got your cockaroo right here, mate.
Oh.
Your wife wants on a cockaroo.
You know what else I like is the kookaburra. Do you know about the kookaburra? You know what this is? You've heard the kookaburra. He's one of the most famous animals in
capybara.
Sure, those look like a giant like hamster or something. The kookaburra, hang on. Watch, I'll show you what a kookaburra is. As soon as you hear it, you'll know. You'll know it because it's in every movie where they go into a jungle, they play this sound effect. Stop screen, present, share screen. Here's the kookaburra laugh. You know this sound because everybody knows this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But like that's in every movie when they go into the jungle.
Yeah, that reminds me of Predator.
A little bit.
No, I saw no animal there, man.
What the fuck is so funny with that guy? He saw that lady breakdancing.
Dude, what the fuck was that? Wow.
So anyway, they're driving along in the battle wagon, and they come across is it a caribou? Bison? I don't know.
A water buffalo, I think.
Oh, water buffalo. It will not move.
A tank.
You shall not pass. It won't let them go.
That thing's like, how much is a water buffalo? Like a ton, maybe? Or close to it? God, those things are huge.
So it won't move. He gets out of the truck and he like does like the Hawaiian hang loose hand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like does that to it and I don't know, mesmerizes it. And it goes to sleep and they're able to go around.
Dude, drops right where it is.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, but if it dropped right there, then how do you get it out of the way? Because you damn sure ain't dragging that fucking thing out off the road.
It's true.
But he sure did, man. He went over to it and he was like, like he was making this humming sound, and he like rubbed the middle of his forehead, and that thing went right on the ground.
Right. So then they ride a boat for a little ways after they park the truck. The boat that was on top of the truck, and they go, and then they're going to go deep into the bush or the outback, and he's going to show her the place where he got his leg bit off. Now it's already been revealed to her that his leg was not bitten off; that he just got what he called a love bite.
But it was a hell of a bite, though.
It was big,
like,
a couple
like
inches,
you,
4 or
you wouldn't
5
want
inches.
that.
Yeah,
You wouldn't want that at all.
but there's the boat he was in when he got attacked by the crocodile and got his leg bit. So that's horrible. And yeah, and then they start camping out, having a good time. See, I don't like this. You got a girlfriend, you send her down to Australia with this man of adventure, passion, danger, and he's got her sitting around a campfire that I'm sure he rigged up like a Boy Scout and impressed her with that, and he's got her laughing. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be in certain situations. Sorry,
Right.
And that's one of them.
You know
Hold on,
what
I'll
I
be right back. Hold on, I'm gonna close my garage.
Oh, the garage. Why don't you have the servant do it? Have Albert shut it for
Oh,
you.
they've already went to bed for the evening.
Oh, he's in the servant's quarters. Yeah.
I don't want to go across the estate to wake up my servers.
That's fair. So anyway, so yeah, so they had a little bit of wandering through the bush there, and him talking and explaining to her how he was attacked, and she's breathless, she's excited about all this, and they're sitting around, they're talking about what they're gonna do, what else they're gonna see, and they're gonna get ready to go sleep, and then he ends up grabbing a snake and stopping a snake from attacking them. It's crazy, and then their sleep is disturbed. There's vehicles and lights coming through. There's some big off-road kind of trucks coming through, and it's the same guys from the bar, the guy that he punched and his buddies, and they're actually poachers, and they're just shooting kangaroos for what seems like fun. They're not even collecting the bodies. They're like, yeah, I blasted that one. Like, they're not even making kangaroo jerky or anything. They're just shooting them.
Which is fucked up. They're just blasting them just for the fuck of it. So he wasn't going to do anything. He's like, what? There's just some kangaroos. And she's like, you're not going to stop them? They're shooting these poor things for fun. She even tripped over one.
Right.
When she was sneaking around, she tripped over one and it was just dead laying there. She's like, you're not even going to do anything? So you can see that, her feminine wiles working on him. Like,
right.
Come on, you're not going to do anything? He's like, all right, fuck it. I'll do something. And what he does is pretty funny.
Yeah. Now, at this point, this movie's an hour and a half long. At this point, you're a half hour into the movie, and the movie does not have a story yet. It really doesn't have a story. I thought this was going to be the story. I thought, he's going to take on poachers in Australia, and some big developer wants to destroy the forest to build a new Walmart or something. It's going to be some hippy dippy environment. I thought that's what the story was. Much to my relief, this is a 3-minute long scene where he takes the dead body of a kangaroo and stands it up, hides behind it, and sticks his rifle next to it and has it shoot back at the poachers, scaring them all off. Like, he's all done. Like,
they think
the
kangaroo has picked up a gun and is shooting at these fuckers. I love it.
Yeah.
He's shooting out, dude. He's accurate. He's shooting out those lights and shit in their vehicles. Oh, come on, get out of here, man. And they all get in their fucking vehicles and take off. Because the guy he knocked out, he went to take a piss in the bushes.
Look at this shit.
And he's all shine the light. He shines and he's all, not on me, you bugger. I'm here in the bush. And that's when they see the fucking kangaroo just lighting shit up.
Now hold on. I'm getting a message. Hold on. Okay. He wants to come in because he's got something he wants to say about this. Welcome back, Kangaroo Dundee. How you doing, buddy?
Everybody? Thanks for having me back.
Right. So, and we didn't tell people the first time you were here, you were a gold medalist at the Olympics this year. Congratulations to you for the Paralympic basketball tournament. You were MVP and a gold medalist, represented your country quite well.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. There were no slam dunks, but we had a good time.
I wanted to ask you about this scene. The wanton, not wonton, this is not Chinese food. The wanton destruction of the habitat and the merciless death of fellow roos like yourself. Can I call you a roo? Is that okay?
Well, you give it a little more time. Got to know you for a little bit.
Okay. The murder of Kangaroo. Sorry, I didn't mean to be too comfy with you there. What did you think of this the first time you saw this scene? Is this a thing that really goes on down there, or was this kind of a fantastic exaggeration?
Well, unfortunately, sorry. Unfortunately, you know, roos like myself do get shot by the poachers, but we never come back to life and shoot at them with their own rifle.
No, wait a minute. Is that how your legs got injured from poachers?
Well, not only do you need to get to know me a little bit before you call me a roo, but before I explain the story of how I lost the use of my legs.
And it was some dirty poachers, huh?
Yeah, it was out, you know, with my female roo. You know, we kind of snuck away from the party, and we're in the bush, and I'm getting in her bush, and then these poachers, they shot me right in my back.
Terrible.
And she goes hopping away. She left me, you fucking bitch. And I'm left there with my legs just hanging off of my ass, and they don't work.
But look, I mean, silver lining, you've made a career of it now, though. You know, you're.
Yeah, silver lining my ass. I want my legs to work, man.
Well, I just want to get your perspective on this. Because I didn't know if I could take this scene seriously or not, but I guess it's a real thing that goes on out there, huh?
Yeah, it really happens out there, but if you're watching, you fucking bitch, you left me there in the bush with my legs not working, huh?
Now, I heard she went on to have a great breakdancing career. Is there any truth to that?
That's who that fucking whore is. I thought she looked familiar.
I thought you'd recognize her when she was upside down spinning.
No, that's me when I get drunk. I fall over, and my chin was like spinning in a circle.
Well, to close it up here, so Crocodile Dundee is a very personal hero to you after he got revenge on these poachers for you.
Yeah, strong support from the Roo community, mate. We're all there outside of the premiere jumping up and down, mate. Well, I wasn't jumping.
Right, you've made that abundantly clear.
Thank you.
I gotta find my place here. I'm sorry. Okay, well, thank you, Kangaroo Dundee, and please come on back anytime.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll out.
Oh, see you later. So yeah, he hid behind the body of a dead kangaroo to shoot at poachers.
Yeah, get him, Crocodile Dundee, get him.
I guess.
Yeah, you mentioned it's an hour and a half long. It does move pretty quick.
It does. Secretary, not sure. A fellow San Diegan.
You.
While all of you are boiling and suffering in the heat, we hit our summer high of 84 yesterday, but we got down. I know you were worried. We got back down to 79 today, 78. So we're okay. We're okay. 84 yesterday. I didn't know what I was going to do, but it's back down to 79, and that was the hottest it's going to be all summer.
You guys are probably crying like a bunch of
Whew.
bitches when it hit 84.
It was, guys, it was touch and go there for a minute yesterday. I almost had to take a nap in the afternoon because it was warm.
For a minute.
It was warm, guys.
I'm
Guys,
gonna put extra ice in my latte.
You know the fan has low, medium, and high? I put my fan on high yesterday, guys. So, you know.
Whoa. Pushing all that hot air around, huh?
Yeah. I appreciate this, Secretary. Not sure. Gabe's questions are funny. Jericho, you're the greatest. I gotta say, just break the fourth wall here. Doing improv with Jericho. I've studied improv like at the real improv schools in Hollywood, the Groundlings and all that. I've took those classes. I love improv comedy. I've done it since I was a little kid. I did it before I knew it was a discipline. It's just what I naturally did as a little kid, is just make up stories and bounce it back. I never met a partner like Jericho to do it. I remember like the first time we did it on the show, and it was a home run to me. It was like the Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger one. I started interviewing Arnold, talking to him about the gift of the goat oil that his father gave him when he moved here from Austria. And I knew in that moment that Jericho could handle any nonsense I threw his way. I knew it. So
it's fun. You know, that's my art. That's my pencil and paper.
Yeah.
That's my oils and my canvas is doing that shit. It's fun.
No, I think all credit to you, Jericho. I really thank you, because I think we work perfectly as an improv team, because I can play the straight man Oh, I'm just asking innocent questions. I love doing that. Or the question I'm asking is absolutely provocative bullshit, but I just play it like it's a normal question. And I love doing that. I don't know why I get such a kick out of doing that. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. So I like to do.
Heather, all the way from Lake Havasu on the border of Arizona and California, is roasting 118 degrees.
Yeah, that's where the son went to high school.
Right.
You look up the son on Wikipedia, it went to high school in Havasu, Arizona. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get up to, I think, balmy 77 tomorrow.
No.
Oh, no.
No, it's gonna be 7 and another 7.
Oh,
Gabe,
it's
84 right now.
Well, it's 72 here. So
it's your high is what it is right now at 8:45 at my house.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. Ugh,
but Saturday we will be down to a low chilly 89.
Oh, there you go.
So bundle up.
You got a lot of like Gold Bond or cornstarch at your house?
Yeah, you got to keep it dry, man. But if you put too much, you have enough dough to make biscuits.
Right. Oh,
be careful.
Heather says it's in Arizona. I always thought it was on the border. I guess I'm wrong.
That's what I said. I said Havasu, Arizona.
Oh, I thought it was on. I went there when I was 10 years old. I don't know where it is.
You never know, man.
I mean, she would know. She lives there.
She's like there like right now. He's standing there.
Oh, it is on the border, Havasu. I guess the city proper is on the Arizona side. And on the California side, there's nothing. There's like some desolate stuff. Okay.
Yeah, you get, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, they get they're known for their heat, but California has some hot spots. Like you get down to Palm Springs, Death Valley, start getting over towards Nevada and shit, and get to them deserts. Woof.
Well, Death Valley, I know this because I worked at a newspaper when I was in college. And one of the pages I worked on every week was the graphics for the news, for the weather, for the temperature. And I would put the temperatures in the little sun or the little rainy cloud. I would put those on the map. And I had like the local forecast for Colorado. Then I had the national for the United States, continental at least. And I learned working there that Death Valley is the hottest place on Earth. Hotter than anywhere in the Middle East. Right? It is. And it's hot because it's a desert, but it's also hot because the elevation. Death Valley is 1 jillion feet below sea level. So that makes the pressure even higher. So when you have the higher the pressure, the higher the temperature, right? So yeah, Death Valley is regularly right now, this time of year, like 124, 123.
Yeah.
Just insane temperatures.
You start seeing, when you look at those national maps, you'll see what's orange, getting into red to maroon. Fucking Palm Springs is always a deep, and Death Valley is always a deep red.
Heather says she needs a hoodie at under 100. Well, that is bizarre.
Yeah, you're putting on your galoshes at 100 degrees in Arizona because you used to it being 1,000.
So anyway,
she represents 2024 in the scene.
Yeah. So they're out here. He's telling her, you can't go do this or that. You're a woman, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't last out here without a man. And she gets a little uppity. She starts feeling those 1980s shoulder pads women would wear in their clothes.
I should be in the boardroom and the bedroom.
That's right.
But he wasn't being rude. He was just, not only, this is probably everybody, including women's attitude in 1986, but you got to put a little extra on it. He's a man out in the bush. So you don't see a lot of women out there. And if they are, they're like these Aborigine hardcore fucking ladies with the National Geographic titties. So she's like, oh, I could imagine, being out here. And she's like, it's so beautiful, but it seems so empty. And she's like, I couldn't imagine being out here by myself. And he goes, you out here by yourself, but you're a Shayla. And she goes, what? We're going to blah, blah, blah point today, aren't we? Yeah. I'll meet you there later this afternoon.
Ooh.
But he wasn't like, no, okay, I'm sorry. He was just like, all right, take that rifle. If you get in any trouble, shoot a couple shots in the air. We're going to help you out. And then so she fucking cocks it. And it's probably, I don't know, like it's not a big rifle. I'm trying to think of what, maybe like a 7mm or something like that. Like it's not very big at all, but it's a rifle.
And she shoots it right at his feet and misses.
Yeah, she shoots it like inches in front of his fucking toe. He goes, she picks it up and he's like, careful, that's a dangerous end. And she goes, she blows a fucking round, shoots like inches in front of his foot. She goes, So it is. He didn't flinch or nothing. He was like, oh, I'm
Right.
surprised, Sheila. Probably bleeding.
Now,
And,
if they remade this movie for a modern audience today, they would choose a different animal. It wouldn't be Crocodile Dundee. It'd be Crocodile Dundee. He'd be this little cutie pie right here, and he'd be groveling at her
This is
feet.
right.
So
No,
my
you-
pronouns is he, him.
No, tell me how stupid I am because I'm a male, please.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. And we're better. I'm going to be in charge. You're going to listen to me. I'm going to teach you about yourself. Oh, yeah, right. You're going to tell me all your pronouns. I want to make sure I get those right.
It's Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, I'm a male feminist. I support you ladies and your feminism. No, I think if there was a female president, the world would be safer. Would there be no wars?
No
Would be
wars.
fighting anybody around the world? No wars?
Everybody would have money, free
Yeah.
money, free health care.
Yeah, because women are impervious to violence. There are no violent women. There would be no, people always say that shit. There would be no wars. Shut up. There are violent women. Too.
What year did the 19th Amendment pass? When did women get the right to vote?
Wasn't it like, was it the early 1900s or late 18?
It was in the early. It was ratified August of 1920.
Oh, so right in the beginning,
And
it was getting good.
we've been at war ever since. Did you know that women vote more than men? Did you know that they're more politically active? I did not know that.
We just want to be heard. And
Anyway,
it wasn't just having the right to vote. And there were a lot of women who didn't want the right to vote either, because that came with requirements. It wasn't just like today where I just vote. It was no, you had to volunteer for the draft. You had to volunteer for the fire department and shit like that. There were requirements that came along with it. So there were a lot of women.
Wait. Are you telling me that rights have responsibilities?
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far, Gabe.
Because I think I should just get shit and not have to have any responsibilities.
Well, the rights are adjacent to responsibility. But yeah, still, you feel it, say it, yell.
This sounds very sexist, Jericho.
Yeah, yell fire in a crowded theater, say whatever you want, because what's most important, Gabe? Living your truth.
Living your truth, avoiding any discomfort at all times, and having pleasure at all times. That's all that matters, dude.
No pushback.
Ever.
No
about
pushback
anything, ever.
On any level. And on any level about anything. I can complain about shit that's not even really an issue, and I can fly off the handle before getting 12% of the entire story and knowledge about something.
Disagreeing with a woman is sexist, Jericho. It's
you
toxic.
better back off.
Right.
And not only
with a goddess.
Not only do you not get to disagree with me, you have to believe me. So if I say you did something to me or whatever, I saw you do something.
But wait. If I wait till you get really rich and famous and then say you did something to me.
Well, yeah, you're allowed to hold on to it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But when the time is right, yeah, then you can either tell the story that really happened or make some shit up.
I saw this in the chat and I have to address it. My home state is Colorado. I spent most of my life in California. I am a San Diegan. I do not claim Colorado. It's where I was born. I lived there as a little kid, and I went there for 8 years when I was in college and afterwards. It was a great place. It's one of the most beautiful states in the nation. It was free. It was conservative libertarian, and it is a left-wing hellhole nightmare. Colorado has out California. My brother and dad still live there. It's worse than here. Imagine if someone was trying to copy California, but they were more retarded and they didn't really get it. So they were just doing a poor imitation. That's what Colorado has turned into. It's an insane joke. Dude.
Like Ku Klux trans people, where they dress like what they think, or they act like what they think the other group does. Yeah, man, it's bad. I read a story where a group of illegals wrote a list of demands, 13 demands, and gave it to the mayor. There was a group of them, like 100 of them, who had demands, and some of them were providing food that they like to eat, providing transportation for their kids to and from school, enrolling their kids in school. Things being allowed to stay in the shelters without being told they have to leave, and bringing in whatever stuff they want to bring in there. So, that's just a few of them. Illegals, meaning I equate illegals to if you were a little kid and you got in trouble on a Friday night, like let's say you got a note sent home on a Friday, but your parents had already promised your sibling that they could order pizza that night. So you get pizza, but then you complain about the kind of pizza they got. Right. It's like, motherfucker, you should be up in your room right now writing, I will not do this again 100 times. We're letting you down here to eat pizza, so you might want to sit there and eat whatever the fuck we give you.
Right.
But these people wrote a list of 13 demands with a straight face and handed it to the mayor of Denver.
It's insane, dude. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyway, this woman is going to girl boss. She's going to meet him at Point Quokka later. She's going to go on her own and prove that she's independent, strong, black queen. I think she has the third one incorrect.
but that doesn't matter.
She was on a roll. She was on a roll when she was saying it, so it just came out. You know,
nothing's incorrect.
She's like she's black like Kamala's black. You know, so
well, all you have to do is say it, and therefore it is.
Yeah,
like Yul Brynner said in 10 Commandments. So shall it be written, so shall it be done.
What a great movie. Diesel, one real note. This is NFL related, guys. Bo Nix, or you got to say it like this. Bo Nix is going to be a beast with donkeys. Absolutely. Bo Nix, and I got a Bronco insider that I'm personal friends with. He's a reporter in Denver on the radio and all that. Had dinner with him in May. Like we're friends. And he's at all the camps. He's at all the NFL stuff. He goes to the college all-star games. He's an NFL insider. He tells me Denver Broncos rookie quarterback is the real deal. So I'm very excited. It's not
and
Russell
that's
Wilson.
coming from the mouth of a Raider fan, a disgusting Raider fan who dislike the Denver Broncos very much.
Cassie Suba's going to bed. Good night and God
More
bless.
sleep. Were you asleep, woke up, listened to that, and you're going back to sleep now?
That's right.
Because you said you're going to get some more sleep. That implies that you had sleep already today. So if that happened, that's pretty cool.
If she's going to get sleep, we should use late night radio voice. Cassie, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night's sleep.
This goes out to Cassie. She's going to catch some Z's. Thank you for tuning in to 102.3 The Meat.
All night long.
Sounds good, man.
Oh, Diesel's talking trash on your 49ers.
Oh, shut the fuck up. See, this is the problem with Raider fans. Their regular season, the one that counts that they get paid for, are so shitty that they get all excited when they win a preseason game or if another team loses one, because that's the only time they win is in fucking preseason. You know how many times the Raiders have gone 4-0 fucker in preseason? We're gonna be badass.
Hey, the Raiders gonna win the Super Bowl, vato.
You're one of those teams where you're out of the playoffs in like week 8. So you're playing the rest of those games knowing that it's not going to mean shit after the end of the regular season.
So coming up in this movie right here, she gets mad at him kind of. She's going to be independent, strong queen.
That's right. Even shot at his foot.
And we see the dark side of Crocodile Dundee. He becomes what can only be described as a peeping Tom.
No, dude, that's just some man shit right there. Every red-blooded heterosexual man would have done the same thing.
She's wandering off. She's angry. She's independent, and he's falling from a safe distance, watching this Shayla make it through the woods. And you know, she's I don't know. She thinks she's like a CNN reporter now with the scarf. I don't know what she's doing. Yeah. And he's really peeping on her, really watching her every move.
Well, now he's just watching her. In the beginning, he is keeping an eye on her because he knows, you're gonna get fucked up out here.
How you doing?
They know that he knows that she's gonna step on some coiled up fucking venomous thing and get bit in her ankle. So he's keeping an eye on her, but then she decides,
nice and slow.
Hey, look at this, mate. This is pretty dumb here. She's getting nude and gonna go swimming in a body of water.
In Australia, you're gonna take a dip in a lake in Australia with lily pads. No thanks. Right. And side note, they ended up getting married after this. They're married for a long time. I don't know if they still are.
In real life, not the movie. I didn't see
real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't see part 2.
Okay.
But yeah, she's stripping down, got that classic 80s black one piece.
Yeah.
And she's gonna just another thing, just dip it into some water.
Well, you should always dip it in very still, green, thick water. What could happen? She's trying to get diarrhea and a fever.
Don't worry, mate. You won't get rage and diarrhea. Yeah, that's not smart at all. And you don't have to be no outdoorsman to know that you don't fucking dip your canteen in some still water that's not moving. But she has bigger things to worry about. Literally bigger things to worry about. So this is actually pretty good because even watching it, now that when you look at the still shot, it can be bad. But watching it today, that's a pretty good scene. Obviously, it's a fake crocodile and all that shit, but man, every time it's going to get you, even though you've seen the movie before. It's a nice little jump scare spot. And yeah, earlier watching it now, I didn't catch this when I was a kid, but she put her canteen around her neck to like hang like a necklace. And that's just not a good idea, period. It's a weird place to have it. And yeah, the crocodile came out, grabbed her canteen, and is pulling her into the water. In reality, in the movie, she's fighting it. She's like pulling back, and the crocodile's having a tough time pulling her in. In reality, that crocodile would have yanked her ass in that water in a millisecond, and she would have been underwater before she could even scream. Like it would have. Those things are gigantic, 20-foot, 2,000 pound. Like it would have yanked her 115-pound ass in that water so quick. She's smaller than most things they probably fucking eat there. But yeah, she's fighting, and the music and everything. It's just scary. And then who comes aside the Shayla, right? Fucking jumps down with that big old knife, jams it into the fucking crocodile's head, turns it when it's in its fucking head. And he didn't just get in there with one stab. It was like stab, push, twist. And then it was fucking dead.
Which scene did your wife's house blow up on, Jericho?
This one. Right here, when the crocodile jumped out of the water. Boom. So my
wife. What happened? Because some of the audience doesn't know. What happened exactly?
So my wife, she was 6 years old, same age as me when this came out. Her and her brother sitting there in the morning watching this movie before school. And apparently during the night, there was a propane leak. So underneath their whole house filled with propane. And her mom got up in the morning. Her dad was in the living room standing in front of them. Her mom was coming down the hall. Her mom turned on the sink to get some hot water. That kicked on the hot water heater, and that flame, kaboom! The couch, luckily the couch flipped backwards with her and her brother on it. Their bird was blown out into the front yard.
Oh my God.
Mom, I don't remember what happened to her mom, but her dad, he got shot up through the ceiling and luckily missed one of the studs, and his head just went through the drywall in the ceiling. Jeez. That could have been, dude, they could have fucking killed him, or at least
could have broke his neck,
or gave him fucking, blue parking spot for the rest of his life.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, her house blew up on this part here. But this part was the shit, and this is like, and now your fiance is wet and not just from the water. You sent her there to do this story. This dude just jumped out of a tree, stabbed a crocodile in its head, and killed it and saved her life. She is a monster. So now look at her. Got her rump facing him, sitting on the little beach.
You can just hear that little, she's sticking her butt right at him. You hear that little sound effect from like the Flintstones, that that wiggle sound effect.
Yep. Switch shaking her little fucking cottontail in front of him. And meantime, her phone's in the bag. You're FaceTime. And she said she was going to call by 8.
The caller you have reached is not available.
Oh, yeah. Nice little rump you going there, man.
She's going to hit you in the morning with, oh, my battery died.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't find a charger. It was like no outlet. All right, you got 8. Yeah. No problem saving your life earlier today, mate, from that crocodile. And she's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, now you're in trouble.
Diesel does bring up some MAGA stuff about the Raiders. Can this help you love the Raiders, Jericho? No. Max Crosby, star defensive end for the Las Vegas, Nevada Raiders, did hang out with Trump not long ago at an event. He's a Trump guy. Does that bring you over to the Raiders at all?
Not even close. Gabe, you misread that. You were supposed to write, our guy, Max Crosby, the only good player on the Raiders, hung out with Trump not too long.
Right.
Because that's all they have.
Our guy, Max Crosby, future Denver Bronco, hung out with Trump not long ago at some sporting event.
And they have Devontae Adams, but he's trying to be out of there. But there's nobody to throw to him. So that's like having a Ferrari in your garage. And you don't
Who do they have, the Raiders? They got like that mustache Gardner Minshew, right?
No, they got was his name McConnell or something. He was a rookie last year.
Well,
He's going
sounds
to be the
awesome.
quarterback again this year. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
So that's like having a Ferrari in the garage, but you can't drive a stick.
Ugh.
So good luck with Devontae Adams. So this guy, he comes up, Mick like walks away, and he's like looking through the bush and shit, but he doesn't know Mick's going around behind him. And he fucking goes up behind and puts that huge knife to his neck. And he goes, "Crocky, Mick, you scared the shit out of me." And he goes, "Oh, this is so-and-so, you know, one of the Aborigines and shit." And he's like, "He doesn't want you to take his picture." He's like, "Oh, why? They think it'll take their spirit?" He's like, "What did he say to her?"
I don't know.
No. He's like, "No, you got your lens cap on."
Right.
Oh, so she was like, "Oh my god!" Like, this is the first white person you've ever seen. And
Right. The whole bit with the Aborigine guys is kind of not racist, but they're like, "Oh, they're guys that live in the bush and know nothing about modern civilization," and it's not true at all. This guy's like wearing blue jeans and speaks with a completely normal Australian accent, and you know, it seems like this is like a cultural heritage activity these guys are doing on the weekend, and then they'll be back at their cubicle on Monday. You know,
he's like, "No, you got your lens cap on." Like,
right.
Sorry.
So then, you know, at first, he was the peeper, right? He was the peeper.
It's right.
To right, turnabout is fair play because he goes off with the Aboriginal guy, and he's sitting there, and now she's in the bushes peeping on him when he told her to stay back at the little campsite.
Yeah, no women allowed.
Right. So he was a peeper. So one good turn deserves another. So she starts peeping on him from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but this again shows his badassery, his bushmanship. They got him painted up just like them, so he's obviously done something to gain their respect, to welcome him into their, you know, even though it may be something on the weekends, you know, this is their tribal, their cultural expression, and they're inviting this LAWMAN to do this. He's obviously not one of us, right?
I don't like this
cool.
at all. I don't like this one scintilla. Think about what you think about. It says they used to call mixed children in Australia creamies.
I mean, that has more of a perverted sound to it.
I hate that so much. I wish you didn't tell me that. Oof.
But creamies, that just sounds perverted. But I guess that's on.
Hi, get those creamies to stop making noise.
I get in here, you little creamy.
But that's I guess it's on the lower end of racial slurs. That's not too bad.
It's a weird thing to call somebody.
I can eat, little creamy. But again, it has a fucking pervert kind of sound to it. But, okay. That's you. Do you, Australia? Live your truth.
So anyway, the next day they go off and they find this romantic, like little lake kind of area.
Mm-hmm. And couple swim.
Yeah. And she's done. She went to Australia. She interviewed this dangerous man adventuring through the bush. She's headed back to New York City, the concrete jungle. What does Rihanna say or whatever? Where dreams are made of.
Concrete jungle, where dreams are made of.
Yeah, something.
Alicia Keys.
Keys. Sorry.
This is, it gets no more romantic than this. A nice couple
Just
swim.
A beautiful emerald green lagoon to yourself with a beautiful woman and a strong, muscular, heroic man. What do you mean, Jericho?
Don't forget the scene right before, or was it after? Yeah, after they get out of the water, he takes a sharpened stick and spears a fucking fish and cooks it for fucking lunch. Right. Come on. She's like, what do you want me to do with these panties? Because I don't need to wear them.
Oh, you're not going to need them.
Again, her bag on the beach. She's fucking.
And then the newspaper editor, his buddy's like, dude, I'm sure she's just busy. There's probably no reception out there in the Outback.
Yeah, she's probably typing right now on a little portable type.
He's like, hey, you want my name?
He wanted to give her that wild Australian trouser.
Yeah.
You know, I just realized something. We're men, Jericho. I didn't just realize that, but I knew that. And I would like to ask, like, women in the audience, Paul Hogan, does he have sex appeal? Because he's strong. He's like a rough guy. He can fight and kill animals. He can survive. Was that some of the box office success of this, that he's like a sex symbol, sort of? I'm a guy. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the adventure. But maybe that was some of the appeal of this movie, because it's a gigantic hit. And I'm kind of confused why, because it doesn't really have a story, this movie. It's not a bad movie, but as I said,
that's a love story.
I guess so.
It's the love story, man. And women, they definitely connected to be the number 2 movie of the year, there were definitely a lot of women watching this because it's not action packed. It's not gonna be like, dudes, yeah, let's go see this new awesome action movie. It wasn't like that. I'd say action to other shit would probably be like, what do you think, 60-40?
Well, Heather says not anymore. He's old. Well, Heather, he's 84 now, so yeah.
But here, look at him, snapshot 1986.
He's 48 years old when he makes this movie. 47, 48, something like that.
Yeah, so a middle-aged man, you Heather, and this you're I guess you'd have to be like her. You have a fiance, but you're X amount of thousands of miles away. This dude's spearing fish, killing crocodiles, putting wildebeest to fucking sleep, grabbing snakes before they fucking bite your face. He's been accepted by the Aborigines. He picked up the dead kangaroo. I mean, how far is he from getting to Battletown?
I love this. I'm going to research this after the show. Fun fact: Paul Hogan got beat up by the real Crocodile Dundee.
That's fucked up.
I love that story. I don't even know the details, and I love it.
Don't want the way you're trying me, mate.
I'd like to see you try it, mate.
Hey, fucking bugger. Yeah, that was messed up, man. If that really happened, that's fucked.
It's funny as hell, though.
She's like, I should have picked the real Crocodile Dundee, not you.
So
yeah,
she convinces him to go to New York with her.
Yeah.
For who knows what reason,
To see the city, be interviewed and stuff there, get him on her dad's fucking, get an interview for the paper. And just to see, to show him her world. He showed her his. She wants to show hers to him. And he's, nervous as hell. He's like gripping the fucking armrest. And look at that. I don't know, is this first class? Even if it is first class, that looks pretty nice. The seats look.
You don't have someone there in their
nice.
Cookie Monster pajama pants with their shoes off.
Yeah, you see the guy behind her wearing slacks. The lady next to him, she looks well put together. You can still smoke. Yeah, man, but look at those fucking seats. And then this is weird. It's always weird to see a movie pre 9/11 about New York City and with the World Trade Center. You should always think about that when I see it. But yeah, that's New York City skyline. And
here she is.
There we
guilty
go.
lips. Guilty lips.
Oh man, even if nothing happened, she's already cheated emotionally.
Oh yeah.
He's already ravaged her body and her fucking dreams and thoughts. Look at those headphones the guy's wearing around his neck, the little foam ones.
Right.
Ew.
Diesel brings up an interesting point. Diesel used to live in Australia. He toured with the band down there. And he says, he wants to say this: Australian cinema is huge. We don't see much of it here unless the movie is also American in fluency because their slang is so thick compared to ours. I encourage looking at Australian movies. There are some awesome ones. There's a second cut of a Crocodile Dundee. I'm not making this up, where it has much more of the Australian language and slang that American audiences, I guess, just wouldn't understand. So, yeah.
Hey, you dingo.
Maybe the dingo ate your baby. You know what's sad is that became a joke, but I think it's like a true story that the dingo did eat some kid.
Yeah, they come in fucking villages and snatch kids, dude. That's one of the luxuries of living in America. We don't have packs of wild dog-like things that will come and take our children in the middle of the night. We don't have to build our house on stilts because of the poisonous snakes and all that kind of shit. I ain't going nowhere.
So this cheating girlfriend, at least emotionally cheating, comes home, kisses her boyfriend, who looks like he hasn't done push-ups in 15 years. And here comes electric sexuality down the escalator.
Yeah. Look at that jacket, Croc skin jacket there. Trying not to get too wet, man.
Killed it myself.
Yeah, probably did. Probably made the jacket. What did he call me? He said, "Here comes something." He made some snide fucking remark.
Right. So then they get into a limo because they're going to take him to a really fancy hotel he's going to stay at while he's in town for a little bit. And the limo driver is none other than Carl Reginald Vell Johnson, hero of Die Hard, right there.
Yeah, a real hero.
Yeah.
And they pull up. He puts the window down, talks to some fucking dude who's having a conversation with somebody else. He introduced himself, shake his hand. He's like, "I'm gonna be in town for a couple of days. Maybe I'll see you around." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." Just blows him off. And then when he pulls away, he fucking looks, and it's the shot where they're looking down the row of people who are standing waiting to cross the street, but they're all out of focus. But you see him kind of stick his head out, like, what the hell? Who was that guy? A classic fucking funny, you know, shot to get a laugh.
Right.
But yeah, in this, you can see that right here. She understands him. She understands why he's like that, why he's talking to people like that. He comes from small town, very intimate, very close. Everybody literally knows everybody. So she understands why he's so friendly. This guy's like embarrassed, like this fucking hillbilly, this Australian hillbilly. And she is like, I'll sop you up a biscuit.
And then when he gets out of the car, he tells Reginald L. Johnson, "Hey, what tribe are you? You're a black fella."
Yeah.
He asked him like what Aboriginal tribe he is.
He goes, "Tribe? Man, I ain't from no tribe." And he's oh, you're a black fella, aren't you? The last time I checked. He's like, well,
you
where
imagine?
are you from? And he was like, I'm from Chicago or Detroit or some shit like that.
Right.
That's so funny.
Can you imagine being black, Jericho? You don't have to imagine. And someone is looking at your face and then says to you, "You're a black fella, aren't you?" Why would you say that? Like, obviously, yes. Obviously.
But he was questioning. He was like, "You're a black fella, aren't you? Well, what tribe are you from?" Because all the black people he knows are those fucking Aborigines with that powder on them and shit and that paint. So that's how innocent he is. You know, just like talking to the guy. You'll never fucking see that guy again. There's 10 million people in New York City. But there's just the innocence in this small town. He's just like, "Hey, what tribe are you from, mate?" If somebody said that to me with a thick fucking accent like that from Australia, I'd probably let it go. They're not from here.
So they're going to drop him off at the hotel. They're going to have a fancy dinner later. She takes him up to, I mean, this is a gorgeous hotel. It's like bigger than most people's houses, it looks like, you know. It's beautiful.
And she's dressed in the best way possible, you know, painfully 80s.
Right.
The jacket, the pants, the fucking shoes. Love it.
She's a boss in the boardroom and the bedroom.
That's right. You bend over.
You go, girl.
You can do it. You can have it all. You can have your career when you turn 45. You can have your baby by yourself because you don't need a man.
I remember seeing this video. Like, I was a young adult. This is 20-something years ago. And it was like the National Organization for Women, one of those feminist political organizations. They had some conference somewhere and they had some speakers, and a woman like this, like in the power suit, the business bitch, she comes up to the speaker and is screaming in her face from an inch or two away, "You lied. You lied. You said we could have it all. You said we could have husbands and kids and careers. You lied." And I'll never forget it. She was so mad that it turns out it wasn't true. So,
yeah, she believed it.
So
you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Sad.
You pick one. You picked the wrong one, girl. It's terrible.
Heather wants to know, why would you hide your ass under those baggy clothes?
Good question.
Gonna have to ask her. Well, she already had it all out at the little.
She had that rump fucking present for the
She
world.
tried to feed that crocodile.
There you go.
Trying to feed him some birthday cake.
Here you go. It's not even your birthday. Here you go.
The crocodile's like, "It's not even my birthday."
Go, wait a minute. Why, am I? So he's completely blown away.
Right.
He doesn't even know how to turn on the TV. He's tripping out over the bidet, the toilet. He don't even sleep in the bed. She comes back the next day and sees that the bed is perfectly made like it was, and he has a little roll up on the floor,
right?
You know, like a bundle or something that some cowboy in a Western movie would roll out to sleep on under the stars. And he sleeps on the fucking floor. And she's just like, again, she just laughs like, oh, Mick. She gets him.
So they're going out to dinner. They meet at the bar. It's so painfully 80s. I mean, look at the guy with the white Miami Vice suit, you know?
Yeah.
He's such an 80s yuppie, this guy, you know?
And he sees her dressed up, you know, like for the first time, all beautiful. And he's like, "Ooh, shit."
Right. And then the guy makes fun of like his drink selection or whatever. Remember? Because he's the whole thing in New York for Crocodile Dundee is fish out of water. Well, I guess he's a croc. He's a croc out of water. Water. And so he's like, I'll have 4 beers and 2 martinis. Remember, he's ordering like way too many drinks. And it just seems a little funny.
But that's how they do it. They
right.
get fucked up.
And then the nerdy boyfriend guy's like bullying him a little bit, making fun of him at the table when they're going to order dinner. And he's all ordering in Italian to be fancy and bohemian and cultured. And then he hands the menu to Crocodile Dundee, like, maybe you should order for us.
Yeah.
And like parentheses, dumbass, you know.
Yeah, knowing he doesn't speak fucking Italian, he can't read it.
Right.
He's all, this thing's in Italian. You don't speak it. You don't speak Italian. Let me show you. She's like,
Can I
dick.
pause right there for a minute? I hate when an expert in something is rude to you because you're not an expert in it. And I find this at two places like the plague. At gun stores and comic book stores. The people that work there act exactly the same. You go into a gun store, if you don't know every last thing about shotguns, pistols, and rifles, they're like, well, of course you wouldn't use that caliber with that gun. And it's just like, what is your problem? And the comic book store, you know the guy on The Simpsons, the comic book guy?
Mm-hmm.
That's really how comic book store guys are. I don't know why. So many of them are that way. But what is that about getting mad at someone because they don't know the thing that you're an expert in? They'll be like, if I got all funny and weird with you guys about drawing and writing, like, Jericho, you don't know what tenebrism is when you're illustrating? Like why the fuck would you? Why would you know that?
Yeah, that's not my area of expertise.
Right. But it's a weird way to act towards people, like being really rude about your domain of knowledge that you have. I don't know. It's very,
and I'm sure they're an expert on something that you fucking know nothing about.
Right. So yeah, so he's being a dick on purpose and mocking him for not speaking Italian and not being to a fancy restaurant and not being to a big city, and then he teaches him some manners.
Well, he says, how about some ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba? And she's like, oh well, he's like, I don't know what it is. And she's like, well, Mick makes a good something, because when they were on the beach, not only did he cook that fish, but he made like some lizard, some other fucked up shit. She's like, what the fuck is this? He goes, and he gives her something to eat that you're not supposed to eat. She bites it. She's like, oh my God, this is terrible. What is it? She's like, well, you can live on it, but it tastes like shit. She's like, you fucker, like you got me, right? One of those like touching his arm, ha, you're so funny, that contact. And here she's saying no, but he makes a pretty good whatever. He's like, what about that medium rare goanna? And he's like, you know, bleeding on his fingernails and clean them off, like, not too bad, huh? And then that's when he's like, oh, okay. So you guys, like, he's thinking, oh, so you motherfuckers, the little inside jokes and shit, huh? You guys are really like, what do you
imagine,
think,
dude, if your wife had inside jokes with another man at the table? Are you kidding me?
There is no more table. Everything's flipped over. Everybody's fucking saying stop. You know,
get off him, Jericho. Hardy Harmonica says, "Is this a California gun store you're talking about?" I've had people be rude, know-it-all dicks to me in California gun store. I can think of it specifically. Colorado, when I was visiting my brother in Greeley, the city of Greeley, and in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's endemic to gun stores, dude. I don't know what it is. It's that hyper nerdy Dwight Schrute kind of personality thing. Like, I can't believe you don't know the 4th episode of the 3rd season of Star Trek. Like, why the fuck would I know that, dude?
Yeah.
And there's just this weird know-it-allness I've run into at gun stores. It's very off-putting.
Like, you're supposed to be a gun expert, so that's what I'm coming to for knowledge. You fucking
right.
Dick.
Yes, I'm sorry I irritated you by trying to give you business at your store.
Yeah, I won't do it again. Trust me.
Right. Heather, her client tried to tell her about hair color day while I was coloring her hair. Shut the front door.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just slapped her upside her head. Shut your fucking mouth. Who's sitting in a chair right now? Not me.
That's right.
So be quiet. Here, and you should have a gag, Heather. It's like an old dirty sock just shoving it in her mouth. Shut your mouth.
I'm glad I am at the point in my career as a writer and artist and publisher where I can pick and choose who I work with complete discretion. Because I'll like, people want me to make their comic books for them. I was talking to a client on the phone this afternoon, and they want me to produce a thing for them where I'm going to write it and get the art done and all that, and they have the idea. And I do like that I can screen people out if I know they're going to be trouble, if they're going to be trying to like be a side seat driver. And like, basically the way I work with people to make comics for them is you give me the idea, you approve the plot and the script, and then you leave me alone and I'll give you a finished comic book ready to go to the printer. And I'm glad I'm in the spot where I don't have to have a side seat driver. You know, it's good.
How annoying. You just want to tell them, shut up. I know. Shut your mouth.
If the plumber comes to my house to unclog the shower drain, I don't go stand in the bathroom and tell him what to do.
Yeah, with your cup of coffee, like, no, where's your plumber's grip? Like,
Yeah,
motherfucker,
I just pay him when he's done. It's like,
Yeah.
it worked. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
He's the one who knows plumbing, not me.
Yeah, that says on the side of his truck with that little cartoon guy with a fucking pipe wrench. So I'll let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Heather, next time you should take that woman, turn her head sideways by her hair, and fucking smack her in her cheek. Sure.
You should dye her hair the wrong color. No, that would get you in big trouble.
Like fucking green or something. Whoops. I thought you said St. Patty's Day. My bad.
Dye it. You know what fashion I hated from about 10 years ago? Young women were dyeing their hair gray, remember?
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Well, but slow down. It'll be here.
Yeah,
before you
it's
want
coming.
it to be.
It's coming, baby.
Yeah,
you don't need to fake
relax.
it. It'll come.
Relax. Enjoy.
Anyway, this guy's a creep. And he gets Crocodile Dundee smacks him a good one, right?
He like hits him with his shoulder.
Right.
He's like, "What's that over there?" And the guy's like, "Huh?" And he fucking like swings the shoulder at him, knocks him the fuck out. Right there in his fucking seat. And she's giving him shit. They're having their first fight. OMG. And she's like, "What are you doing? Why'd you do that?" He's like, "He's being a fucking asshole." Like, you don't remember that dude I gave a left hook to while I was dancing with you? I don't take shit talk too well. And he was being a fucking asshole, fucking thinking he's better than me and treat me like shit in front of these people, in front of you.
Remember the time I could have pulled you out of the water and we could have run from the croc and I decided to murder it by stabbing its brain? That's who I am. That's who I am all day.
Yeah, when I didn't take my right hand off your hip and I just laid that dude out on the table.
So remember
don't talk shit to me.
I stabbed the crocodile in the brain pan and I then twisted the knife after it was already dead. That's who I am.
Yeah. Remember I picked that carcass up and I shot at those dudes from behind it? Hello.
Yeah. So
hello.
Your boyfriend got off light.
Yeah, he got off. Look at him fucking keep pounding on his fucking face. And then he's like, he like wakes up halfway. She's like, shut up. Like, rolls her eyes. She's like, ugh.
Right. So girlfriend and nerdy newspaper boyfriend, they're going to go their separate ways. Crocodile Dundee's going to go out into the night.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to get
a cab driver
from this very Italian cab driver. What do you think this guy's name is? It's got to be like Anthony Falcone or something like that, right? Like
his name is Johnny fucking Tony. Some ends with an E. Mikey, Johnny, Paulie, Donnie, something like that.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, you want to have a good time? Let's fucking get out of here." And he turns off his on-duty sign on top of his cab. These dudes are about to hit the fucking New York City underbelly.
Yeah. So they go to the bar. They're having a great time. They're drinking. And then something very, very strange that wouldn't happen in 2024 cinema happens. This handsome woman, very handsome woman, is kind of joking and joshing with Crocodile. And he's digging it. He's into it. He's mad at his newspaper lady. And he meets this guy and he gives him a brother jive handshake. And that's kind of quirky and weird. And the handsome lady can't get enough. She's very, very happy with Crocodile Dundee. Mm-hmm. Very, very handsome woman, And
manly feature.
She's a little spicy. She lives right around the corner, she tells him. She lives alone. He's like, "Hey, could you use some company?" She's like, "Sure."
Let's get out of here.
But Tony Falcone, whatever his name is, he's like, hey. He's like trying to get his attention while they're setting up their.
He's like, "What the fuck, man? I'm trying to close the deal."
Right. And this guy's like, "Hey, I got a little bit of news for you." So he tells him, "That's a dude."
Yeah, he's like, "It's a guy." Oh, that's not a chick. That's a guy. You don't trust me? That's a guy. He's like, nah.
So one of Biden's cabinet picks, for sure.
Yeah, the little clip though.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's so fucking." And dude, Tony Cabrucci or whatever his name is, a fucking cab driver. Dude, he's playing a drunk, fucked up dude perfectly. His eyes are all squinted. He has a cigarette in his mouth. Fucking great acting. Great acting all across the board.
Yeah.
So there's only one way to find out if that's really a guy.
This woman's a little too handsome. You know what I'm saying?
Look how tall she is. She's tall too.
That's a tall bitch.
And that jawline is serious.
That's a powerful jaw.
That's a huge bitch.
That'd be great if you were tied up. She could chew right through the ropes and get you free.
She'll definitely throw you over her shoulder in a fireman's carry and get you the fuck out of there.
So what they would never put in 2024 cinema After he's told it's a man, he's feeling quite a bit of incredulity. He does not believe it. So he does the only thing a man of science would do. He tests the theory himself. Says, turn your head and cough. No, he doesn't say that.
Nope.
But he gets a full grab there.
He grabs her right in the crotch with a handful of her balls.
Right.
You know, it's a Shayla. It's a Shayla.
And then everybody laughs. So
because it's ridiculous and crazy.
So then he goes outside, and if you thought the sexuality was finished, oh no, he runs into two hookers. But apparently in the Outback, there are no hookers because he doesn't know what they're talking about.
Nope.
And they're like, hey, you want to come over? You want to have some fun? We're going to give you a freebie. And he doesn't know what free.
Yeah, he's like, you're not my dick, do you? I'll be the only dick, right? Because I just came from some shit in there.
Lucas Lerner says Ben buys a round of Bud Lights.
Yeah. He should have known by the Bud Light, by the tall boy.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But yeah, they're two ladies of the night. What are their names? It's like Simone
and something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the
It was Simone and Kamala, I think it was.
It was Kamala Harris
and then their pimp.
Yeah.
It's like Mikey DiNucci or something. He's
Hey,
like,
you gonna just fucking look at the merchandise, or you gonna buy something there?
Fabam.
I'm sorry. He goes, something. He's like, you want to talk to him or fuck him? He's like, watch your language around the lady.
This fucking guy, OE.
Boom! Fucking knocks him smooth the fuck out. This time with his right hand onto the hood of that car.
So we are 80% through this movie, or more or less. It doesn't have a story. Think about it. There's no plot. There's nothing like the hero's living his life, and then Darth Vader kills his parents, so he has to join the Rebel Alliance to destroy the Death Star. There's no plot, but it's not a bad movie. This movie, I've said it like this, like the fifth time I've said that on the show tonight. That fascinates me that there's no story in this movie. There's none. He's just in New York doing stuff. It's not building to anything.
But he's doing the right stuff. He's picking out all the handsome chicks.
But everything that happens in this movie kind of happened in any order. Like there's no narrative. It's just stuff happening. It's like, yeah, then he saw a hooker, then he saw a transvestite, then he he went to had dinner with the girl, and
then we get knocked out of him.
Right, then he knocked out of him. Let's see.
No particular order.
Oh, the names of the hookers were Hillary and Kamala. That's right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Heather. Heather says it's a long episode of Seinfeld, the show about it. I thought of that last night. It's like it's a movie about nothing, So, but somehow it's good.
Yeah, but it worked. Number two.
I don't know how they did this. Yeah. So anyway, he's taking a disgusting bath where he's doing his laundry in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Jericho, you're a grown man. I'm a grown man. When was the last time you took a bubble bath?
I couldn't tell you, man.
You don't ever get like stressed and then light a few like candles and put some bath bombs in.
Put some Calgon. Calgon, take me away.
You don't put a little like Sarah McLachlan on the stereo and some candles.
One time though, my back hurt real bad and I soaked in like some Epsom salt kind of thing, and that helped loosen up the muscles in my back. But I couldn't tell you, man. As a little kid, took
bathtubs all the time. Yeah,
all the time.
You get the Star Wars action figures with your brother when you're 5, and you're just playing in the tub forever.
Yeah, but as a grown man, I couldn't tell you, man. It's not the business.
Turns out Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee, was doing Subaru commercials after this movie.
Oh, he did. That's right.
Do you know Sheila that likes other Sheilas? We've got a Forester. They'd both love to drive together.
That's right.
They could drive it to their women's softball league.
Do you like to go downtown on the ladies? Well, you can go Outback with Subaru. It's new Subaru Outback. There's plenty of room back there for your dogs, your CrossFit gear, and all your double-ended tools of pleasure, all your rubber things.
Do you know what Subaru means? And this is not
your softball bats and gloves.
Do you know what Subaru is? It's a Japanese word for the Pleiades. Do you know what the Pleiades are?
No.
It's a constellation in the sky. It's known as the Seven Sisters. So there's 7 stars there. If you look at Betelgeuse on Orion, and then you go up to the side, I believe, then you can see the Pleiades. It's very faint, but they are the seven sisters. And they were running from, I believe, Orion, and they ran up a tree and they turned into something else, blah, blah, blah. So the seven sisters were appropriated by other culture as lesbians because it's seven women. So that's why Subaru is like unofficially the car of like gays and lesbians, is what I was told. I don't know if any of this is true, but it makes sense.
I mean, if you look at most people, I mean, you know, we're not driving all around the country every single day, but you get an idea where you live. And then most of the time when you see those Subarus, Legacy, Outback,
Forester.
There's a lady in there that likes to go and die.
There's a lady in there who likes ladies and plays a lot of softball.
Tons of softball.
You know,
the car smells like leather from the gloves, and sweat from their gear. My gear.
So he's in here taking a bath all by himself, and you know, the night before, he kind of got in a fight with a news reporter lady and all that. And
I'll take those. What are those? Those for Senior Meek.
Subaru is the official sponsor of the 49ers. That's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So then news reporter lady comes in, and then Lupita, Arnold Schwarzenegger's maid. This is where she worked before she met Arnold in Hollywood. She was living in New York, working at the hotel.
Yeah, she wasn't too frumpy then.
So then she comes to give him the towels, and this one tries to tempt him by sticking her leg in there and speaking in a not racist but very funny Spanish accent.
Towels, Senor Meek. He's like, oh, just put him right there. Are you sure, Mr. Meek? He's all flustered, and she's like, she comes in, she's like, fucking with you. Get dressed, motherfucker. He's like, oh, bitch. Scared the shit out of me. He put his hat in the water. You didn't put my hat in the bubbles, bitch. That's real. We could go outside and duel right now where I'm from.
You should make a comic book about a race of space lizards to try to take over the planet Earth. It's an interesting idea. Alien invasion has been done. I'm doing a sci-fi book. Let's take a 30-second break to show you Earth Illuminated. Guys, the comic book from Big Man Comics. Look at this. 70 pages of illustration complete.
Damn.
Throwing them small, not the spoiler.
120.
So this thing, we're flying. And then, let's see right here. Color. Cover. No, pencils. RGB right here. No, look at the JPEGs. Here we go. Right here, I have 30 pages of color, 31 pages of color done. So we are flying along. It's going quite well. And we got all of our books cooking, and some extra stuff I didn't mention at Comicon is now being worked on. And here, look, here, real quick. Here's some concept art for the Tyrus book. This is one of the big mutants that he's going to fight. I'll show you here. Here's just a sketch right here. Character named Rays. I guess I can show you the real board. Hold on. Turn off my background. Here's I'll make this big. Not that big. Turn off the background, Gabe, or the thing goes away. Virtual background. None. So yeah, here. This is just a quick blue pencil messy sketch of a big orc-like guy with very thin, gangly arms and weird legs. He's another one of the mutants that the Tyrus character will be fighting in the Unstoppable Tyrus. So all that stuff is underway. And I will love it, and you will love it when you buy all this stuff from me. I think it's going to start coming out in the beginning of 2025. I think so. We were saying maybe the end of 2024. I'm going to take my time. I'm not rushing myself. I did enough overworking and rushing myself at DC Comics. So I'm going to take my time and get these things done right. But I'm working hard on this stuff every freaking day, and I'm having a blast. So.
Yeah, and your boss is a lot more understanding than at DC Comics.
Right. So. Right. You love Tyrus? Well, if you ever met him, Heather, he's a great dude. Good family guy, a brilliant businessman. And like Jericho, one of the things I really like about Tyrus is he's a brilliant improv comedian. You notice when he's on Gutfeld or anything, you say something to him and right back, he's got the funny thing to say. I love that about him. I think he's very funny. And the comic book ideas he's given me for the comic book I'm working on for him, well, that we're creating together is crazy fun. He gave me some awesome ideas. I grew a story from there. He has it now. He's going over it, and then he'll get his notes back to me. And I will start drawing that book before the end of the month. So I'll be showing pages and stuff like that a little bit. So that's another 120 pager. So these are going to be a lot of fun to make. Anyway, they take a day date, even though she has a boyfriend who's about to marry her.
Oh, they're on a date. She's just showing them the sights. That's all.
They're just having a great intimate time and talking about life and enjoying the amazing scenery of a metropolitan wonderland. It's not a date.
Yeah, laughing and giggling together.
What are you insecure, Jericho?
No, not at all. Not at all. I hate when people do that. They tell you it's insecurity. No, it's just not how I fucking roll. I'm a man. That's bullshit.
Jugga, I'm gonna take your wife all over New York City for the day. Don't be insecure.
And if I'm not cool with it, oh, it's because you're insecure. No, it's fucking inappropriate. Shit don't happen, you jackass. What the fuck are you talking about?
No,
Oh, she
I have a
puts
policy.
Go ahead.
I don't have female friends, and I don't think women always argue this. Men,
It's impossible.
You cannot be friends with women. Now, see, women hate when you say that.
It's
You
impossible.
say it's not true. You can't. Women can be friends with men. Men cannot be friends with women because women can use men for friendship. They do it. It's called the friend zone.
Mhm.
But that's not how men work. Men cannot be aroused, and I don't mean sexually. I just mean provoked in any way, and I don't even mean provoked bad, without wanting to get to the goal of whatever, A to B to C. Women can be emotionally happy at B, then go A and B, and they never need C. C's great. They don't need it, women. So they could just be friends with men. But it's like a theory I came up with in college. I called it pandas. I live in San Diego. China sends us pandas. We just got some like 2 weeks ago. It's a big deal. They put all over the news. Oh, Bayun and Shishi have come from China. They're two pandas. We're going to try and get them to mate. And I was saying, how do they get the pandas to mate at the zoo? Do you guys know what they do to do it? Nothing. They just put them in a cage together. Men and women are the same way. You should not hang out with women that are not your wife. It's a very bad idea.
Nope.
You know?
Especially like in a friend type relationship where you're playing relationship, you're going out together, probably eating together, you're hanging out, you're going to each other's house and shit. No, because he's going to be thinking about fucking you. He's going to want to fuck you, and something's going to happen. I believe it's completely impossible, for two people, for a man and a woman to have a polygamous, or not polygamous, but a platonic relationship. Right. And people told me this. I've had a friend who's a guy for 10 years. Nothing's ever happened. I said, because you didn't want it to happen.
Right.
You
call him on the phone right now and tell him you want to hook up this afternoon. See how quickly he'll be at your house.
Yeah. Your doorbell is going to ring before you hang that fucking phone up. Are you kidding me?
Bill, we've hung out forever, but we've never. He's at your house before you finish the sentence.
Yeah. And she's like, no, he would never do that. He would never do that. Yeah, he will. You crack that window and he'll be like, oh, yeah, for sure. I'll smack, because we can compartmentalize. Women need A and B. We just need C if you really want to get down to it.
Right. Here's Hardy Harmonica. If it's not your sister or your cousin, it's just trouble on layaway.
Yep.
There you go. Wise words.
Exactly. Don't even fuck with that. And my wife and I, we've been married for 15 plus years. I've never needed a female friend. She's never needed a male friend. We are each other's friend. She has her girlfriend she hangs out with. I got my homies I hang out with. That's all we need. Any female companionship, I already got one locked down. You're fucking tripping. My wife doesn't even have any male friends. I don't have any female friends. I don't give that thought.
No, I wouldn't have any women friends. I'll be friendly. I'll be professional. I'll be kind. But it's just like, am I going to go to lunch with another woman, just the two of us? How does that make any sense?
Are we talking on the phone?
Girl, you wouldn't believe what Jericho said.
What the fuck? Hell no.
Right. Or texting or private messaging. What?
There's just no need.
No.
There's just no need.
No.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, that whole men and women can be friends is hogwash. It's nonsense.
Bullshit.
I'm going to be crude here. Men like to fuck. In case you were wondering.
Yep.
So they don't want to just be your friend. That's not how it ever works with men.
No. Women, it's totally different for women. The way you feel about an emotional connection is the way we feel about a physical connection.
Right.
And exactly. as repulsed as you can be by sex and a man's sex drive, and you can do without sex, well, that's how we feel about sex, the way you feel about emotions.
Right.
Like how the planets need to be aligned, the moon needs to be at this degree. I have to feel this way before you could do anything. For men,
it's like, we got to just both be awake and say yes.
Yeah. Are you awake or not? Give me consent before you fall asleep. Yeah, man, that's how it is. And women, it's hard for us to understand you, and it's hard for you to understand us. But we can compartmentalize that. You need A and B, we just need C.
You know what has helped me understand women a lot better? And I know I'm right about this. The heuristic I use for everything that doesn't make sense, and I've said this before, it's a recent thing for me. Yin and yang, men and women, mirror images. The exact same thing, but reversed. Left hand, right hand are identical, but they're exact opposites, right? That's how men and women are. If they like this, then we're down here. If we're up here, they're down there. Like we balance each other. You complete me. as Jerry Maguire said. You know, I think
Yeah.
it's a divine design. It's God's design of completely complementary sexual dimorphism. So
My one time, my wife, it was really for the kids, but we went shooting as a family, and my wife sat in the truck the whole time.
right.
As a man, if someone took me shooting, there's no way I'm sitting in the truck at all, let
Right.
alone for an extended period of time. But she was just like, she had no problem at all doing that. And if you go with your buddies and you sit in the truck the whole time, you're going to be ridiculed until you're dead.
Yeah, that'd be there like, is something wrong with you?
What?
Heather wants to know, do I work on several comics a day or alternate days? How do you manage it all? Well, since I'm the publisher and I decide when these things come out, one thing I'm careful to do is not promise a book is coming out until I really know. So I tell people maybe Empyrean will be out by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year. Tyrus sometime, and the other three sometime next year. That gives me plenty of time. I know I can get it done. But the way I manage it is just in order of getting it done. So right now, Empyrean, the script is written, it's being drawn, it's being colored. So I'm working on that in the morning. I'm coloring 2 pages a day of that. Then in the evening, I'll work on the script for Tyrus. And then I was working on the concept art that I was showing you guys earlier in the evening, and emailing that stuff to him so he can take a look at it as we collaborate. Then I'm looking at another artist I met at Comicon who I've loved his work for years to draw the Jericho Green comic, because that'll help it come out faster. And he draws a cartoony style that I love. I don't really draw cartoony as my natural way. I draw superhero-y. So I could do cartoony, but it would be more effort and it would be a learning curve for me. So there's this great artist. I'm a huge fan of his work. So I'm trying to see if he'll do it, seeing if the budget and the schedules work. So to me, just working on the books, I do work on multiple ones in a day, and it's just priority of deadline. That's all it is. You know what I mean? So another thing I have coming up quick is Akeon's going to be done drawing Empyrean in like 7 weeks or something like that. Sometime by October, I'm going to have the Dean Cain Volume 2 script ready for him to get going on that. So I'm going to have to write that. I haven't written it yet. I have the story in my head, the basic plot. I know what it is. I've told Jericho what it is, but I have to write it still. You know what I mean? And that, to write a full 120-page comic book, it would take me a day to write the plot. So the last plot I wrote for the Tyrus book, it was like 8,500 words. It was like 8,700 words. There was 21 single-page pages. That took about a day to write the plot, maybe 2. Then I send it to Tyrus or whatever. I'll send it to Dean or whatever. Send it to people. What do you think? What do you think? I'll write a second draft of the plot, maybe a third draft. And then when everybody likes the plot and I'm really happy with it, then I'll write a script. And then the script is page 1, page 2, page 3. It actually has the page numbers. And then I'll do about 3 drafts of the script. So total time writing is probably like 5 days, 6 days to make a 120-page book. But it takes me like 3-4 weeks to get it done because I'm waiting to hear feedback from people. And sometimes I'll take a break. I'll write all day. And it's like, I need to draw tomorrow all day drawing so I could just forget the story, then come back and read my script again and say, oh, you know what? In Act 2, he did this, but I need him to plant this idea in Act 1. And you move stuff around. And it's really, I love problem solving to write because it's like this crazy puzzle and it's really fun because everything that happens in a story, you have to earn it. You can't just say, and then he pulled out the gun to save the day. It's like, no. You had to plant the gun way back in Act 2. You can't just say it in Act 3 to save the day. So I don't know. I just work on things in the order of when they're going to be coming out. But it's fun. Since I'm the publisher, I don't have to worry about deadlines because at Marvel and DC and all the big companies, that's all it is just rush deadlines, and it's miserable. It's a blessing. It's an honor to work on Batman and Transformers, all these amazing properties. But the work environment is really awful a lot of the times because it's such a last-minute deadline, but it never ends. So you're working there for years, and you're in a state of panic for years. It's not like, oh, the book is late this month. The book is late every month. It's not me, So it's at that point, it's like it's intentional. I think like you can't be late for 15 years straight. Like get your act together, editorial. So sorry, that was deep lore about working in comics.
So deep.
So deep right now. Anyway.
This is one of my favorite scenes. Then she gets him back with the "you can live on it, it tastes like shit." She tells him to put sauerkraut on his hot dog, which is fucking disgusting. Then he goes, bites it, and he's like, oh, what the hell? She's like, so it's called sauerkraut. You can live on it, but it tastes like shit. And he's like, you got me back.
Right.
So
there's
that little
about that. What was that creature they were eating?
A goanna. Medium rare goanna. And so she got him back, and it's like more ha, going through the city, showing the sights, getting a slice of pizza. You fuckers playing couple.
Think about what you think about. Has a question about writing. Do you ever deal with writer's block? Absolutely not. Never. My mind, when it comes to speaking and language and story, is like a fire hose, and it basically doesn't turn off. It turned on when I was first conscious of life at 3 years old, and it never stops. I can create a story for you in the next 5 minutes if you give me an idea. I can create a very interesting premise. And Jericho's the same way, I can tell. There's I hate to say it, it's not braggy, but there's like a mental gift about language. And when you have it, you can tell the other people to have it. Like Jericho has it, I can tell. That's where this improv stuff comes from. And like the story ideas, they just, like, I can't turn it off. I can just come up with ideas. And when I write the story, it's like, no, I can just make it make sense, then refine it. They say in writing is rewriting, and that's really true. So you write your plot, you make the mistakes, you make the stupid, shitty ideas, but you know they're in there, but you're just laying it out. It's like drawing. You make the sketch, like whatever. You're just laying out the basic shape of the story. And then you reread it, and then you wait a day, and then you reread it, and you just refine it and refine it. And but it's not hard for me. I never get writer's block. It just, I don't know. It's a thing that I didn't really practice. It's just like Jericho, did you learn how to improv or think quickly with language? Did you learn how? Or did you just, you can do
like
it?
in a professional setting, like a classroom? No,
it's just, when you were little, did you have to study to improv the way you do? No, it's just, so think about what you think about. It just comes natural to people like Jericho and I. It's literally, it's genetic. My uncle's this way, my brother's this way, and my daughter's this way. It's why she's a comedian. She can be telling her routine, but if someone in the audience does something stupid, she can instantly roast them. She just knows what to say. So this, unfortunately, is for other people, not me. It's just a talent. It's just something you can genetically do. I don't know that it can be taught. Maybe it can be taught because they do improv classes, they teach. Yeah. But it is something that you're just predisposed to language this way. So
yeah, and after doing it for years and years and years and years, yeah, you just, like anything else, you're going to get good at it, no matter what it is. If you do something every day, multiple times a day, for every single day for 30 plus years, yeah, you're going to be pretty good.
It's really funny, though. I'll tell you the experience of writing for me. So I'll be writing a plot, and I'll be writing something for one of my adventure stories or whatever, and I'll get to a point, I'm like, oh, okay, well, if that happened, then this can't happen. That doesn't make sense anymore. So I'll sit in my chair, and I'll just get on my phone and like look at sports scores or read the news on Twitter for 5 minutes, and I won't think about my plot. And the answer just comes to me like, oh, if she did this and he did that, then they could steal the jewels. And I'm like, and it feels like when you're at the basketball court and you can't miss and the shots are just going in like a swish, nothing but net. It feels so rewarding when, I know this sounds nerdy, when I figure out the story stuff and it comes quick, man. I sit there for just a minute. I'll write for like half an hour, then I'll sit, and then I'll write and then I'll sit. That's how, when I do writing, because what I found when I color comic books, I can do that for 12 hours. I don't get tired. When I draw, I have to take breaks. Like every hour I have to sit, like you feel tired mentally. And when I write, you have to sit like every hour for like 10 minutes or something. So I think it's using your brain in a different way. Because when I'm coloring, I can turn my brain off. And I listen to so many audiobooks and news and podcasts and music while I'm coloring. When I write, my office is silent. You know what? It has to be. Like you can't be listening to songs and trying to write words. That'd be weird. You definitely can't listen to an audiobook and write a book at the same time. So
yeah, I guess drawing would be more of a muscle thing.
Drawing,
like muscle memory.
There isn't, not athletic, but there is a muscular thing to how you draw and the way the quality of a line. But drawing really is thinking abstractly about shapes and like what is the least amount of lines I can make to convince the viewer that this shape is a nose or it is a baseball or whatever. Like you're trying to distill the concept down to what are the most important lines I can draw. And that spills over into writing. It spills over into coloring. It spills over into improv jokes. Like I said earlier, Shakespeare said brevity is the soul of wit. The least amount of lines you can use to do something is the most effective way to do it because it leaves that imagination open for the audience. Jericho, did you interview my daughter? Did you ever?
I did.
You did?
I did on Green's house. I sure did. She had an event coming up, the Momedy comedy. So yeah, I interviewed her.
She kills at everything. She killed at that, and that's what got her invited to Vegas. And when she was in Vegas, a guy who just did his third Netflix special invited her to do a show open for him here in San Diego. So she's just on her way. She's got 2 roast battles. She's going to go back to Jimmy Kimmel's Club in probably like in another month or so. But I'd love her to go to that Kimmel's Club on a regular basis because she's friends with the lady that hosts that show.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Little residency in Vegas.
Right. stop over and go swimming at Dean's house. That was
Why
nice.
not? Sounds like fun.
He's a gracious host. He's a nice guy. You got to see that house someday, dude. It is beautiful.
Yeah, I come out there with you.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah. So, anyway, here we is. Here we is. So they go to a fancy shindig, and he runs into another handsome woman with a very deep voice.
Yeah.
And these are all the what do they call these people? These fancy, they're not celebrities, but what are they? They're the elite,
Like
the
debutantes.
socialites and debutantes.
Yeah.
The upper crust of New York.
The movers and shakers.
Think about what you think about it. It said, when did you interview Minnie? I never saw it. It was like
What?
2 months back.
Yeah.
It was on Green's house, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure was.
Yeah, link is in the description for Green's house, guys. Please
Yeah,
check that out.
with
That's
that
Jericho's
bitch.
awesome interview channel.
Yep. It's on there. Or no. I put it on my regular channel.
Oh, it's on your regular channel.
Yeah. Because I wanted her to get maximum exposure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on my regular channel. So check it out.
So he's at this fancy party. He meets all kinds of fancy rich people, and he grabs this lady by the crotch. Now, I wasn't convinced. Was this a man or just an old lady with a husky?
No, I think it was a lady.
Right.
I think it was a lady.
But she likes it after he grabs her. She's kind of
Yeah,
like,
she was like, what's up, fool? What's up, fool?
Yeah, she's like, can I get your Snapchat?
Yeah, she's like, DM me.
I don't even know what Snapchat is really. I asked my kid, like, what is it? Like, you could text your friends. I'm like, you can just text your friends.
Yeah, just text them. Then. But the weird thing about it is whatever pictures and shit you send, they disappear.
Well, we all know exactly what that is.
It's fucking gross.
I remember when I heard about what Snapchat was like 7-8 years ago or whenever it came out. It's like it's texting, but the images disappear. It's like, oh, so it's for nudes and to cover the evidence.
Weird.
Now, Uncle Gabe is going to give everybody out there a little bit of advice about things like that. You should not be taking pictures of your private parts. Don't do it. It's a bad idea.
If you can avoid it.
Just don't do it because on its face, it's a bad idea. But here's another reason why it's a bad idea. I work in digital imaging for a living. I make a lot of digital images. That's how you make comic books nowadays. Did you know these things are never really deleted? When you delete it, it just makes space on the hard drive. It can be recovered. Further, if it's on a phone, on a Snapchat, well, now it's on your phone. It's on their phone. And it's on a server. Maybe it went through a satellite. Maybe it didn't. But it is out there. And the picture of your whatever you took a picture of, it exists somewhere and can be recovered. So my advice to everyone, don't do that. I've never done that. I don't know why you would. I'm married almost 28 years. I'm not in the dating game. I don't get it, but I don't understand nudes, dick pics. I don't know why people are doing this stuff. It confuses me because the stuff is not ever really deleted. I don't know why you would do this. It's weird. It's a bad idea. Don't do it.
People like to share. So social media is all about sharing. And if you've shared everything else, next thing you got to share is your dick.
I mean, you haven't been in the dating game since forever.
Yeah, a long time.
Now, you don't have to, you can plead the fifth. You don't have to answer this, but would you send your wife a picture like that?
I would, yeah. My wife.
But now it exists, the picture.
Fuck it.
And what if the picture
I'd send it to my wife. If someone's willing to dig up that picture, fucking, you could have it.
I don't know what the truth is, but Heather says she caught her husband on Tinder, changed the profile pic, and that he wants 400-pound women that are 4 feet tall.
Dang. I mean, they're out there. But
is this your former husband, or is this a terrible joke?
Did you give him the boot, or did he have an appetite that needed a little more, a thirst that needed more quenching?
You know, we don't know the world that women live in because we're men, and that mirror image thing I'm always talking about. Sex is much harder for men to get than for women.
Oh yeah,
for women, relationships are harder to get than they are for men. Right? It's that mirror image. Men, you got to work, you got to charm, you got to have game, you got to do, you could do a million, and it still might not work. You know what I mean? Women, they can just go out and say, "Hey, who wants some?" And they'll have 50 guys lined up the block.
Use that.
And I'm not hating. This is the nature of the world. This is our human nature. But I've always wondered, what does a young, attractive girl's phone really look like? Now, I have a relative, won't say anything, very pretty, like really pretty and young. And I asked her about this. We were at a family thing, and we've been very close cousins since forever. And I said, let me see the phone. Because she's like, I'm dating this guy. So let me see. And it's like, sure enough, just dudes. And talking to this guy, talking to this guy, talking to this guy, talking to this guy. And it's like, it's a whole other planet that women are living on, dude. It's weird. So.
No idea. Unless you're like a really good looking dude. If you're a really good looking guy and you're in good shape and shit like that, yeah.
Sure.
Tons of chicks. A guy like that's phone would probably.
If you're Crocodile Dundee, you're gonna have the Sheilas lining up.
Yeah, but you're gonna check them all by the crotch, just to be sure.
Want to make sure you're not a bogan.
You got me one time. You got me at the bar.
Oh, fool me once.
They don't never happen again, mate.
So yeah, he's gonna make sure no more dicks make it past past security. But this is a hell of a party, and this is PG-13, right?
Right.
So 80s PG-13 was a little different than now. So you got him grabbing that lady's dick. He's knocked out a few dudes. Did we pass the groceries that get knocked down?
Oh, we must have. I must have.
Yeah, because I think it was the scene where they were on the street having the pizza. So they're standing there, and some guy comes running by and bumps into him, and this lady goes, "He's got my purse. He's got my purse." And in front of him, he ran into this lady who dropped her groceries, and on the ground was a can of condensed milk or a can of soup. And he fucking waits a second, kind of aims, and I think she took out her camera, was like taking pictures. He fucking. And this dude's sprinting the whole time while he's like gauging it. The dude's sprinting through the crowd, and he fucking chucks that can of soup. Bam! Hits that fool right in the back of the head, like 50 yards away. Boom! Knocks him out. Everybody starts cheering. Yeah! That he would have probably killed that dude, or at least cracked his skull, caved in the back of his head. Fucking throwing that can of soup, and he just chucked it. Boom! Right in the back of his
I don't remember any of that.
Huh. Oh yeah, the guy stole a purse. And there's a bag of groceries that knocked down. He looks and grabs a can.
Must have been talking to Big Baby.
He gauges it.
Diesel says, "Here's a serious question: would you date a chick who has OnlyFans?" Absolutely not. No.
No, hell no.
Hell no.
That's mine. Very selfish. Those are for my eyes only.
Heather says, "Tender and Tinder are different things. Learning curve for your information." What is Tender? Do I want to Google this?
That's like a meat. That's probably a meat website.
Tender. I'm gonna write Tender website.
That's a marinade based website.
5 best hookup sites. It says Tinder. Oh, Tender dating site. Tender dating app. Hundreds of women are tired of loneliness. Why not enter? No. Okay, sounds like the same shit to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I am glad that I was married 27 and a half years ago, and I never experienced internet texting, dating, like any of this. Any of this.
The only woman I've texted in a romantic way is my wife.
In the old days,
that's it.
We had the balls.
Hey,
walk up to a woman and say, "I like you.
How you doing?
You're coming with me for dinner. I like you."
Yeah,
we did it like cavemen.
Get over here.
That's right.
And
bring some of that over here.
Can you find it?
No, I don't want to look for Tender. I don't know what it is, and I don't.
No, not that. I'm talking about the scene where he throws the fucking can of soup. It has to be less than 30 seconds.
Oh, I don't have the video. I just had images. I'd have to go onto Amazon and open the video back up, and I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
I'll take your word for it.
But he smacks that dude in the back of the head with that can of soup before they go to this party. And this dude's snorting coke. And he doesn't know it. He's so innocent. He doesn't know what the fuck coke is. But he's like, "Oh, you want to get this shit in your system? Here." He puts it in a bowl, pours some hot water, like boiling water from tea in there, puts a towel over his head. He's like, "Go ahead, get into it. Clear all that rot out." He's trying to give him a remedy to clear his sinuses.
Right.
He thinks he's sick, but that dude's just doing some coke.
Just doing some of that Bolivian marching powder.
Puts the towel over there, and the guy looks up at him like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Go ahead, get into it." So that's a new way to do coke, I guess.
So then he calls back home to the Australian cheers. And they're like, "How's it going there in New York?" And he's telling him it's going great, this and that, but I'm going to stay a bit longer because he's supposed to come home. He's having a good time. He wants to see more of the city. He's going to stay longer. And then his buddy, his not gay friend that wears the scarves, is like, oh, it couldn't have anything to do with a certain reporter, could it? So he's on that vibe that maybe Crocodile Dundee is his heart has grown 3 sizes. You know, so
Well, this is another. It's probably the most famous scene.
right,
Definitely the most famous scene out of this movie.
right. So they're
Middle of
walking
New York City.
along, and 3 painfully 80s gangsters show up.
Ruffian.
They're not even gangsters; these are hoodlums.
Yeah.
He's got the red Michael Jackson Eddie Murphy raw jacket made of red leather. He's got the bandanas.
Yeah, these are rapscallions for sure.
Right, rapscallion. When you say rapscallion, you have to roll the R. Rapscallion.
Rapscallions.
Oh, it was a roughneck.
Yeah, these are definitely some ne'er-do-wells roaming the streets of New York, petty theft, stuff like that.
Right.
And he pulls a knife on him and he's like, give me your wallet. He's like, why? Because I got a knife. It's not a knife. He pulls out this fucking big old butt. That's a knife.
Pulls out one of these jobbers.
And he's like, whoa. And he like cuts up his jacket. And he goes, get out of here, man. And he runs off. She's like, are you going to call the police or some shit? He's like, nah, he's having a good time. Kid's just having a good time. Fucking let him go. Let him go try that on somebody else. Dude, he pulled that thing up and he carved his jacket up. He's like, get out of here, man.
Can I point something out? Not the look on his face with this giant knife. I want you to tell me if you've seen this look before, Jericho.
Dude.
I've seen that look on a woman's face before.
She's almost cross-eyed. Like,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, she's ready. She's ready to go.
She's, yeah.
If you took her back to the hotel, it's over.
Yep. It's Croydon's. So, yeah, that guy, for those of you that don't know, you probably heard it. It's still a pop culture thing. That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's a knife.
It's such a famous, it is the line of the movie. You know, so.
Yep.
And to this day, people still love to quote that. So.
And so the story's printed. She finally sees her dad. That's her dad there. And the next one, that's him. And he's like, oh, you got to come out to the house this weekend. You know, we're like welcoming you back. So-and-so's going to be there. It's going to be a big thing. You got to come and bring this man of mystery. Bring this man who had my daughter going halfway around the world. All this kind of shit. She's like, okay, cool. He's Tony Goldwyn. They like called him. He's kind of sitting back there fucking hating. Like kicking his foot. Yeah, I don't want him to be there. But he is. He's going to be there. And this, it's not like a house. It's a fucking estate.
It's an estate.
Like
this is the kind of thing where they say release the hounds and they're not joking.
Yeah, you know? They're like shooting foxes on the property.
Right.
And and then remember before he put that wildebeest to sleep, I'm about to do that to these fucking vicious. But who the fuck would have these dogs loose when you're obviously having a party?
Right. So yeah, right when Reginald Vell Johnson, again the hero of Die Hard, is dropping them off in front of the estate in the limo, they get out and these dogs are going crazy, running right at Dundee, the lady, and the nerdy news guy. And he does the hang loose Hawaii, puts the dogs to sleep.
Yeah.
Like Ice Cube said, so deep, put her ass to sleep.
Except he didn't fuck the dogs.
Right, of course. That's a minor detail I left out.
I
thought the audience could figure that one out on their own.
That's part 2.
Right.
But yeah, and Reginald Johnson like hops in the limo. He's like, fuck this shit, which most of us I think would have done.
Right.
And but yeah, it's this huge palatial fucking
it's huge.
Gigantic. It's not even a house.
Yeah, this is that money. I love that the father, the bald guy in the white, he looks like a Greek gangster in the island of Malta, like in a James Bond film from the late 60s or 70s. His outfit. That's not an 80s outfit, is it? That's way back.
That's like that upper crusty, families where we all have a product of theirs in our kitchen somewhere,
right?
Cleaning supplies, like money that can never go away. Influence kind of power and senators and shit.
Right. His daughter goes to boarding school in Sweden,
Yeah. With the CEO of some defense contracting company, those kind of fucking people.
His wife eats those little sandwiches that have cucumber and cream cheese and no crust,
Yeah. And has a pool boy and a gazebo and all that kind of shit.
The pool boy. This motherfucker.
Those people are wealthy, not rich. They are wealthy.
Right. So they're going to have their upper crust dinner. Everybody's there. They're They're celebrating the return of the daughter to the States and welcoming their Australian guest. And then Chuckles here, the boyfriend, who's not really a bad guy. He's very mildly a jerk to Crocodile Dundee. He's not like cruel or evil. Heather says she loves those little finger sandwiches. Heather, you said you used to live like in San Diego or something. If you ever got up to Julian, that's the gold miner town from the 1800s. It's like 45 minutes from San Diego. There's a place called the Julian Tea House, and it's all teas and fancy china, but they do a proper tea and sandwiches thing there. I've taken my wife and my daughter to it separately, like on a daddy-daughter date, and I took my wife there. I think I took my mom there once. And you get tea of your choice. I like Kensington Gold. It's delicious English tea. And then you get the tray of like 6 different kinds of sandwiches, like a grilled cheese, a chicken salad with curry on a croissant. You get the cucumber finger sandwiches, and then a fruit sandwich. It was like whipped cream and strawberry. You get a bunch of little sandwiches. You get some scones with different like lemon curd and butter, and like unlimited tea with cream and sugar. If you get back over here and you go to Julian, the tea house up there in Julian is amazing. You make an appointment, you go do it. And all the ladies that work there are really grumpy ladies. So,
Hey, Nick.
right. But yeah, I had a proper English tea up there. I've had it and it's really good. Yeah. It's delish. It was delicious.
Fucking delish.
Yeah. Yeah. The Julian Tea House. And it's a great little city, Julian. It's an old mining town from the 1800s. Yeah. So have you ever done anything fancy like that?
Not quite that fancy. I took my daughter on one of our daddy-daughter dates to an art museum. That's pretty pinky out while you drink.
Let's see real quick. Just want to show you. Okay, it's the Julian Tea and Cottage Arts real quick. But I'm telling you, I recommend this. About us. Are there any pictures? You guys got to learn how to make a damn website. If you're going to sell food, have beautiful pictures of it. Terrible website. Anyway, the Julian Tea and Cottage Arts, whatever. If you're in San Diego, that's a great place up in the mountains near San Diego. So anyway, Chuckles here. He proposes. What a beautiful smile. What a beautiful smile this actress has. She looks so pleasant and kind, her smile, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, real pleasant.
Diesel says he's going there tomorrow. Oh.
I'll
Well,
be in there.
Have some Kensington Gold on me, buddy.
Yeah, he'll be the one wearing the Raider jersey. So.
Ugh, they won't let you in with a Raider jersey. It's kind of a classy place.
Why not, fool?
Julian is a place you wouldn't realize you're in California. I would disagree. I mean, California has every environment. It has mountains. Snow. The tallest mountain in the United States is in California. So we have mountains, we have desert, we have beaches. I think the only thing we don't have is swamps. We have lagoons, which are close, but no cigar. But every type of environment you can imagine, we have it. So, but we don't have swamps, right? There's no swamps.
Who wants a fucking swamp?
Right, stinky. Anyway, he proposes. She says yes. And the father's very happy. This political marriage is going to happen. This newspaper editor that works for him is going to marry his daughter, and it keeps the empire intact. He can pass this newspaper down to now his son-in-law, you know. So Crocodile Dundee's had enough. You ever had your heart broken like this, Jericho?
Not like that.
The one you wanted to see her with someone else.
Yeah, something like that. But they make eye contact after she says yes, and he's kind of like, "Fuck," and she almost has a look like, "I'm sorry," you know. And then he's like, "Hey, man," he said, "Carl Winslow, get me out of here."
Right. So they hop in the limo. Now pay attention to the tiny little spoiler / antenna there.
Yeah.
That's going to come in a very Bugs Bunny sort of moment later.
What does that look like?
Right. It's like something they'd have in the Outback.
Whoa.
So he gives him a bottle of Jack Daniels or vodka or something like that. Oh, that's a TV antenna. Oh, I suppose you're right. Yeah, it's not a radio antenna. It's a TV antenna. I guess it's both, picking up radio frequencies to whether they be television or just radio. And he wanders. I can see some sad love ballad music playing.
It was. Not like that where it tells you he's walking down the street with a bottle. It wasn't like that real descriptive shit. Yeah.
Without you in Times Square, alone in a crowd of strangers.
Yeah, it was sad, but there's not quite a button on it.
Right. So he's walking and boozing, and then doing a favor to humanity, he hands a homeless alcoholic man more alcohol
That's
to
what he
further
needs.
his problems.
That's what he needs.
He said, "Hey, friend, you're living in your own filth. You've got nothing going. Why don't you try some more booze?"
We got whiskey out that. Pour a little whiskey on it, man.
Yeah. I thought it was weird when the homeless guy said, "Thank you, Santa Claus."
I don't know if he's all right. This whiskey will help. Help us in the Outback. Okay, what up? You knocked that full out for us. What's going on? Hi, ladies.
Then he runs into some more female entrepreneurs.
Oh, he thought it. Yeah, he thinks it was them. He's like, oh, I thought you were somebody else.
Right. And then what would we call this guy? Mickey Falcone?
Hey, the fucking Johnny Baducci right here. The fucking local pimp around here.
That's Johnny Balducci. Nobody messes with him.
Don't fucking mess with Johnny Balducci. Yeah, well, this guy is. He didn't get the memo.
And then he's got the Beagle Boys with him, his goons.
Yeah, fucking Bebop and Rocksteady.
It's no question time.
Hey, you're gonna be a spot on the floor. So he fucking reaches for his knife. He's like, whoops, left. He took it out of his back because it was uncomfortable when he was sitting in the limo. He left it in the limo.
And then he kind of gets beat up by these guys. And then Johnny Balducci's going to come and finish him off.
Yeah,
and then, in complete madness, Carl Winslow, is that his name? Reginald Vell Johnson drives a limousine and hits Balducci with the car.
Fucking asshole.
I feel like if you hit someone with the car, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to kill him.
Yeah, is he not fucking dead?
Right. Ugh. So he hits him. Balducci's knocked out. The two guys run off down the alley. And then Reginald Vell Johnson.
Get him fucking Winslow.
Like a 2024 Parisian Olympian throwing the discus. He rips the television antenna off the back of this limo. Rears back. Throws it and plunks that guy in the dome.
Number one, why would he care? Why would he fucking let him run away? And number two, something that sharp would have probably sliced him open. But yeah,
so
fucked him up.
This limo driver is fine with running people over and hitting other people, giving them brain damage.
Yeah. Just another night in New York City.
Hey, that's how it goes.
That's how we do here. Yeah, man.
Now, Crocodile.
This dude's cranium.
You didn't see nothing, Crocodile, right? I mean, if the police were to ask you what happened to this gentleman's brains over here.
I didn't see nothing, Mike. I was over here looking at the size of that big eye.
Fair enough.
No more Channel 5. Oh, that's hilarious.
That was enough.
So then the next day, where's she off to? Is she off to like something with the boyfriend, right? She's going to go get on a plane and go somewhere with the boyfriend. But I don't remember what they said.
But she wants to talk to him when she gets back.
Right. But she wants to talk to Crocodile, and he's not at the hotel.
Meek. No, he's Eddie. Nah, where you going, Mick? Going to walkabout. What's the walkabout?
Right. And now the ending of this movie is really good, and it feels like the ending of a different movie. This ending of this movie is like if you had a so-so joke and a killer punchline. The ending of this movie does not match the rest of the movie, because I told you the rest of the movie, it's fine, but nothing is really happening. It's just like little vignettes of he's a fish out of water, but it doesn't build narratively where the difficulty increases and the stakes increase. That's how stories are supposed to go. And this movie doesn't do that. It just stuff keeps happening and it's the same level of stuff. But the ending here is such an amazing romantic payoff where he's like, whatever, she's going to marry that guy. I'm in love with her, but she doesn't want me. So I'm going back to the land down under. And she's literally running and she's ripping her high heels off so she can run faster to try and find him before he can get on the subway and get on the train and get to the airport. She knows which way he's going to go. He's down there with hundreds and hundreds of people in the subway waiting for the train to show up. And there she is standing on the stairs yelling. Now, as an artist, let me point out a little trick they did with color here. What color is her dress?
Red.
Okay, you know why, so you can see her. Now, They're so far apart, and there's so many people. They do this very comedic thing where she gets someone's attention. I'm sorry, talking too much. I need some water. And the first man gets the second man's attention, and the second man gets Dundee's attention, and they go back and forth. I love you. I'm not marrying him. I want you. Blah, blah, blah. It's really romantic and fun. The second man is this man. What color is his bandana?
Red.
Right. And then the third man is that guy. Big orange helmet.
Hey.
Now, I work construction. Construction helmets are not orange. They're white. They're yellow. They're almost, I mean, they can come in any color, but this is unusual. So the reason they did that, just as an artistic thing for you to see, they did that so it's easy to pick it up. They gave them red, and orange. So I just thought you'd want to know that little tip there when you're using color to tell a story.
Next time you're at a dinner party, you want to
next time you're designing a scene for a movie that you're making or a comic book, you'll understand how to employ color.
Thank me later.
Right.
So if you go back to the one where she's running, because this is a great shot. It's following her while she's running. Like Gabe said, she stops, takes off her high heels so she could run faster. And then this guy
she
tries to
throws
stop
them
her.
off while she's running. That makes it more romantic. She like doesn't stop. She's like running and grabbing at her feet and tossing them. You know.
Yeah, and she starts running and follows her along this wall. This is probably a famous part of New York City, Central Park. I don't know. And she's going in, and this guy jumps out. He's like, "Hey, where you going, sweetheart?" And she knees him in his balls so fucking hard. He's like, "Ugh," and like drops his ass, and she just keeps going,
right.
like a fucking robot, and gets there. And that guy, the black guy with the red bandana, he was in a couple episodes. He was a friend of his, like from college, like another doctor that played in some episodes. So that's why I know that guy from. And of course, this movie.
Who was he a friend of?
Cliff Huxtable.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Friend of his from college. And so yeah, him and then the other guy, and the other guy's like, "Hey, I'm fucking New York here. I'm a construction guy. I'm a fucking subway over here, fucking over here." So that guy's like the perfect New York dude. And there's a lot of Jamaicans, like Jamaican Queens and shit. So that Jamaican dude is perfect. Everything is great. You can see Dundee down there with the hat. And then they're, like Gabe said, they're yelling back and forth. "Tell him I love him. She loves you. She loves you. She loves you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, fuck, how do I go there?" And he looks up and he pulls himself up and he just starts walking on people's heads and shoulders to get to her.
Right.
And like it's getting happier and happier as it goes on. People are cheering. And
yeah,
like
because everyone is watching this romantic drama play out, all the hundreds of people. They all hear the message being yelled. It's the ending of this has no business being this good. Because like I said, the rest of the movie is just very, it's a 7. It's very even. This ending is outstanding, though. It's so romantic. But I don't feel like they built up to it properly. But whatever, it works. Yeah. You know?
And the guys who are singing the message, the black dude and the Italian dude, they're getting emotionally invested too. He's like, okay, he's like, "Why not? Yeah, why not?" And he tells them, and he goes back. And then by the end, when she says, I love you, the black dude, he's smiling. And the Italian goes, "She loves you, she loves you." And he fucking walks across. All he do, he's stepping on their heads or shoulders, his boots on. Like he didn't take his shoes off. He's just walking on these people. And everybody's so invested in this love and making this love happen. She loves him, he loves her. He's about to leave, and she caught him last minute. And he walks on the people and gets down there and jumps down, and they fucking kiss each other, and then it just
right. And the Jamaican black guy reaches out and they grab hands and smile at each other right there, like you did.
Yeah. He's like, "Fuck, man, congratulations."
And then it just rolls credits.
Yeah, freeze frame. Bam.
It's a cool movie, man. It is unusual. It is not at all what I expected. I thought it would be the 3-act structure, very formulaic action adventure, and it is not that at all. It is a very charming little movie with a big payoff at the end. Classic 80s.
Yeah, this is great. See, like, you get goosebumps watching that scene because it's so fucking.
Yeah,
they're in love with each other and the people, and everybody's happy. It's fucking great. It definitely belonged in another. Like some Harry Met Sally type shit.
Yeah.
Like some big romantic comedy or romantic movie where like it has a good build up and then the crescendos into this fucking great scene, man. Great scene.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic at the very end there. So one last thing before we get out of here. I thought that was a great one. I'm not sure what we'll do next week. I do have some ideas, but we'll have to see. But I wanted to bring back in our little friend to just ask him to ask him a question because I had one more since it was an all Australian theme night. Welcome back in, Kangaroo Dundee, Paralympic gold medal champion.
Thanks for having me back, mate.
Well,
Okay, guys.
you know, it was a delight to watch this movie, to indulge in some British/Australian snacks, and to watch your countrymen perform at the Olympics. I was wondering if you had any further time to think about Ray Gunn and what advice you would have for her. How does she recover from this? Because the Olympics have said, we're not doing breakdancing in 2028. She did that bad at breakdancing that they're just removing it. How would you, if you were going to do a PR, like a crisis firm for her, what would you tell her she could do to rehab her image? Because right now she's getting beat up on the internet.
Watching her breakdance makes me wish that my disability was blindness. I would tell her she should like find a restaurant or bar on like a beach in Thailand and just kind of disappear and become an expat.
Oh, all right. And I mean, do you feel any pride in what she? I mean, at least she tried. She showed up. Is that good?
No, she was in the stripes, man. It was up to me. We'd let her get loose in the pen with the dangos.
So, what do you think is the bigger disgrace? The fact that she did this, or the fact that her husband was too much of a coward to tell his wife, "Baby, don't do this. You're not the best break dancer in Australia. You're not even the best break dancer in Sydney." Her husband didn't have the balls to lead her with love. Is that more of a disgrace or her doing this? Who would you blame, her or the husband?
I think they're both equally to blame. I think she's the best break dancer in her community center.
Oh, all right. Well, I just want to get your feedback on that. And one last thing I wanted to ask you. The ending of Crocodile Dundee is insanely romantic. Now, I've heard there's a little romance going on in your life. Is it true, the rumors are true, that you have found Mrs. Kangaroo Dundee? Is that true?
Yeah, I finally found her. But growing up, looking at that ending scene, well, it's not fair. They wouldn't be able to pick me up and let me roll my chair across all those people's heads.
That would be very dangerous for you. You could get hurt.
Yeah, right. Now fall down, hurt my face, and she would want to kiss me because all my teeth would be busted out.
You don't need any further injuries, sir. You've already suffered enough.
Yeah, and I'm only handicapped like from the knees down. Everything up there works, and my penis it's large and functioning.
Oh, well, I that's very personal. I didn't need to know that, but thank you.
You wanted to know it though.
I was curious, I'll admit, a little bit, yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, okay. Now, are you looking forward to the next Olympics? Are you going to be in them next year? Oh, are you going to try and help Ray Gunn to get the breakdancing reinstated in 2028 in Los Angeles?
Yeah, we call that a one and done here down under. We're not going to try that shit again. She ruined it for everybody.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much. We love Australia. I'd love to visit one day and maybe meet you in person and meet Crocodile Dundee himself. I think that'd be fascinating. Is there anything else you'd like to let the audience know before we let you go?
No, I gotta go put some WD-40 on my wheels. Later.
I was wondering what that squeaking was when he came in.
Yeah, he hates it.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, that was Crocodile Dundee, and that was a lot of fun. Totally not what I expected. And I don't know where we're going from this movie. I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out though.
Yeah, it'll definitely be actiony. Hey, did you see the trailer for the new Crow movie?
I did.
What do you think?
did. Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I'll give him a chance, but I'm definitely apprehensive because Hollywood has done us dirty style on so many remakes where they have decades to get it right. But I want it to be good. I want it to not be. We're trying to remake the Brandon Lee style, the Brandon Lee version, but we're just remaking the Crow, but doing it differently and
just making it woke. Come on, they're gonna do that.
That's where the
like Marvel's trying to make a new Blade movie for like 2-3 years now with Mahershala Ali, and they keep canceling it, and the director quits, and the new director quits, and they rewrite it. And I heard like a year ago, the guy playing Blade was only sort of in it, and it was going to focus on passing the torch to his daughter, the Daywalker vampire. And then it's like, okay, so that's canceled again. And then Wesley Snipes, I guess, was in the new Deadpool movie reprising his role as Blade. And it's just like, guys, there it is. Just make a Blade movie with old man Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Wesley still got it?
He's only 60. He looks fantastic still. He's still in shape. Black don't crack. He doesn't look that old.
He was in the Expendables movie. He still got it.
He is as much Blade as Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Like, that is the role of Wesley Snipes' life. It is. Like, you can't think of a more iconic role that he did. When you think of Wesley Snipes, you think of Blade. That's what you think of.
And they
as long as he's still kicking, that needs to be Blade. And I bring that up because that's how I feel about The Crow. Well, you know what thing we got to think about soon is Halloween, because we got to do our 4 horror movies for October.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's going to be good.
We got to think about that. So
easy.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see. Anything in the comments, guys? I want to thank you all so much for being here. I love you guys coming in. I know broadcasting was a little spotty lately. I haven't been on social media much at all, like the last month. It's Comicon, so crazy. But we're getting back in the swing of things, so we'll be doing it regular again. And thank you all for the support. Go to bigmancomics.com. We still have copies of the first printing of Dean Cain All-American LAWMAN. You will love that. If you don't have it, they're in stock and they ship fast. We have amazing clothing there too, and awesome editions of the book with different covers. Check out Jericho on Instagram. Check him out on both channels on YouTube. All the links in the description. If you got anything for the people in the audience, Jericho, or we're going to get out of here.
I put a link to the video that I did with Gabe's daughter, Minnie, in the chat. So if you scroll back up, you can check that out. Yeah, I see it right there. It's not too far up. But yeah, check that out because I think it was think about what you think about who asked. So there it is. But yeah, keep checking out the channels. I'm on X at @green_Jericho. I'm on Instagram at JGTalk2 because my other channel is suspended for hate speech. So follow, support where you can. I appreciate you.
Oh, good. Yeah, follow us everywhere. Not like in real life, but everywhere on social media, guys. We need the support, and you'll love following us. We're a lot of fun everywhere on social media. And we will see you guys next week with an action movie. This was a little too romantic.
But still good.
I got lost in Paul Hogan's eyes a few times watching this.
Still a good movie. But yeah, we'll be back. Don't trip.
All right. See you next Wednesday, 7 p.m.